Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, Kimo, Naota, Daniel Lim, and Hamada. Hope you guys are well. Kimo, what's going on? You give us a special, like, twice this year already, man. That's pretty active for you.
You got that right, Cam. I've been patiently waiting for, obviously, what is the card of the year, titled Turbo Terry and the Unbeatable. So I'm pretty hyped up, man.
Good to hear. I know you didn't watch the Briedis Huck fight, so I'll turn over to Naota and Hamada quickly for that, just to give a quick 10-minute breakdown on it. Naota, you want to start?
Sure. Basically, Huck, I think, really showed. He's been showing his age the last few years. I think he showed it a lot more so here against Briedis. But he was just able to get off first pretty much every single time, dictated the action for the most part. Huck was very much he looked very much like a guy that was having trouble pulling the trigger. Kind of reminded me of Shane Mosley in the latter stages of his career. You know, when he fought Pacquiao, when he fought Canelo Alvarez. He was this once great fighter that could still see the openings, but he just wasn't able to capitalize on them. And but he's pretty much just picked him apart and won the fight fairly handily. From what I saw, didn't necessarily look like he was this like truly ascendant talent necessarily, but I mean I thought he did a solid job overall. Showed a generally fairly good variety of punches and such. I do think that he is one of the higher level guys at cruiserweight, but it's not necessarily like this kind of show stopping ability that I think really needs to be showcased in order to I think bring more eyes to the cruiserweight division outside of people that are just kind of come across those type of fights in the general sense, like if they happen to be on a PBC card or something like that, they're not the type of fights that people tend to seek out, which is really unfortunate because it's not like the guys there aren't classy operators as we like to say sometimes, but
classic.
But I mean, Briedis did a good job. Huck should probably hang him up. And I mean, he's had a really good career. He's had a number of good wins, a number of close, tough losses, and now it's at the point where, I think it's really just gonna harm his overall legacy going forward. Because I mean, even just from what he's managed to accomplish, he's probably one of the truly upper echelon cruiserweights of all time. Really, I mean, considering the general youth of the division in terms of how long it's actually been around, but. That's pretty much my general overview of how I felt about the fight. But he did a good job. I'd pretty much rank him right around up there with the likes of like Usyk and some of the other fighters. But I couldn't necessarily say that he's the best guy at cruiserweight necessarily. Yeah, those other matchups I think have to be made in order to truly determine that.
Hamada, we had a conversation I think day after the fight. And you were saying you switched it off after 5 rounds. And I understood why, because Huck was absolutely awful. It just seemed like they outsourced the tactics to Joe Gallagher. So it was like do nothing for the first half of the fight and then try bits and bobs towards the end. And he was trying to get in close, but after the 8th and 9th round, Briedis was just spoiling and getting him headlocks and clinching, and I think Briedis in the back of their mind knew that he didn't want to expel too much energy because I think that was the first 12 rounder he's been, if I'm correct. But yeah, Huck was awful, and you discussed that with Briedis. I don't know, his double jab was really good, the right hand's decent, but there's something missing for me. Like when I look at him, I don't think this guy could take over the division, and maybe I'm just being a bit harsh, but. He's just lacking something for me. I think we both said that the top cruiserweights would most likely beat him. I even think like Lebedev's kind of fell off a bit, and I think Lebedev would beat Briedis. But yeah, your thoughts, Amada?
I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet because I don't want to come off as being really negative. Like you said, I watched the first 5 rounds and I turned over because it was bad. The match of the day was on, but I don't know. It seemed like both guys just couldn't punch each other and keep some sort of range. It just each time they'll throw and then they'll just fall into each other, headbutt, clinch, headlocks, and it was bad to watch. I mean, the cruiserweight division is a very competitive division, and a lot of people, especially the hardcore helmets, like to talk about it a lot. And it was a bad advert for the cruiserweight division. I mean, if you showed a guy that's not into cruiserweight boxing that fight, they're going to be thinking, well, this is why we're not into it. Do you know what I mean? So just being honest, man. But it's a good win for Briedis. Hopefully he can move on. And watching that fight, watching the first few rounds of that fight, Bellew has no problem beating both of them. And I'm not a big Bellew fan, and I don't really rate Bellew, but I just think Bellew beats both of them. And the amount of hardcore helmets hyping up this Briedis, making him seem like he's the next big thing and he'll smash Bellew, etc., etc. It's just not true, man. And Usyk he's just the man up there. Like, no one can touch him, really and truly. I think he plays with all of them. The rest of them is all competitive, I think. I think everyone else is a competitive 50-50 fight, but Usyk is just on that level above for me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Amada. Just quickly before I need to correct myself. Briedis has been 12 before in 2014 against Ismail Abdul. Kimo.
But real quick, I wanted to plant the seed real quick because we're going to talk about the fights later too. But I'm really curious as to if Hamada completely missed the Usyk versus Mchunu fight and missed how many times Mchunu was hitting Usyk over the head.
Ooh.
No, I saw that fight.
You got served.
You got served, son. Respond. Rebuttal.
Mchunu's a different kind of fighter to all the other cruiserweights, He's a different kind of fighter to Huck, Briedis, Bellew, Garcia, and all of them. So,
he's not a different kind of fighter to Doritos.
Doritos? Hey, Cam, shall we go toe-to-toe?
I should play the soundbite.
Do you have it? Can you please?
Nah, let's leave it.
Come on, just for memory's sake, man. Please.
Old time's sake.
I'll play at the
Can
end.
you
Come on,
play
man.
just
Let's get
once?
some Scorsese on this.
I'll play at the end.
Don't even worry about it. I just wanted to
No, I want to
plant that
hear
thought.
it.
No, man, I'll play at the end.
yeah, actually, see Mchunu. Mchunu's actually really good, but he's just really small.
Too small,
and he's
yeah.
just got no chin.
Yeah, the thing. He's a good fighter.
He's a really good fighter. Like,
I thought he
you
gave.
have to knock his shit.
I thought he gave Usyk a lot of problems. I think he probably gave all the other fighters a lot of problems.
He did,
But
but
the
he's a
thing
good
is, I
fighter.
think Usyk is a guy that tries to be a lot like Lomachenko, but he doesn't have the same level of physical talents in terms of agility and such, in order to completely outpace everybody that's going to be fighting in that same fashion.
And also, I'm not trying to make excuses for Usyk, but some of those step acrosses don't always work against a fellow southpaw. Like, obviously, the positioning is everything, and it's not enough.
Trust me, guys, he would know.
Southpaw brothers. All right, let's move on. Kimo, some big news this week. Andre Ward made a big thing about signing a rematch he was contractually obliged to. Your favourite fighter?
Yeah, no, obviously he's a fucking scumbag, but yeah, at least he's taking the rematch. I gotta give him credit for that, right?
Scumbag.
Yeah, he's a total fucking scumbag. I mean,
Why?
The way he was acting on Twitter, huh?
Well, what did he say?
Did you not see what he said on Twitter? Like, oh, the fight is not official until I announce it. Like, he is such an ego fucking maniac. I saw one really nice response from one guy. He was like, "Yo, Andre, do we got to download shots to fucking get the announcement?"
Shots app.
But
That's a good reference. That's a good reference right there.
Exactly. It's the same like fucking egotistical mindset that both of these guys have. So, but again, even though I fucking hate.
What do you mean
the guy,
both?
like,
Kovalev II?
No.
Mayweather and
You're talking about Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, Mayweather. Oh, shots. Yeah, I remember that.
You didn't get the shots, Turkey.
No, I do. The
Yeah,
shots with a Z. Yes, I know. It's like the Instagram, whatever thing that he was trying to promote, or the video thing, or whatever. Yeah.
Greatest app in the world.
The thing about
Use it every
Ward
day.
is thing about Ward that I really don't understand, and I was more a defensive of Ward in the past than you guys, but when people try to argue with me his sense of entitlement and the lack of things that he's actually generated from like a interest level from fans, it really is mind-boggling, because I think Ward's a very bright guy, but for him to act in the way that he does, it's just mind-boggling to me. You know, this guy is a regional fighter at best. All of the quote-unquote good ticket sales that he does is strictly in Oakland, and when he fights in Vegas, you know, Kovalev was the A side in the last fight, and he should be the A side in this fight, even though Ward is getting paid more handsomely. It's just, I don't understand what he's trying to accomplish with his career. You know, like in one night, he presents himself as this very mature, religious human being, and the other, like, he seems to just like bathe in the idea that everyone just hates him, and that he's like up against it when he doesn't deserve anything, and it's really puzzling to me.
But Lim, you say he's a smart
I know.
guy. I don't see him.
I think he's
I don't
bright.
see him as a very smart guy.
I
I don't
know-
think
I
he
know
is. I think if
exactly.
you're that,
No, I know exactly what the problem is with him. He thinks that Floyd Mayweather was as big and popular and famous and money making as he was because he was the best fighter on the planet. That wasn't the case. The reason why Floyd Mayweather was so popular and why he made so much money, because he put himself out there. He promoted himself. Something that Andre Ward completely refuses to do. And it's not even about this, you want him to be the bad guy. It has nothing to do with it. Evander Holyfield was a good guy, was a Christian guy, just like Andre Ward tries to purport himself to be. And he was a major star. He was in all kinds of commercials and all that shit. So he basically has a sense of entitlement based on how much critical acclaim he has, but he hasn't actually had the follow-through in order to make that critical acclaim known to the broader public. And so that's where he falls short. And he doesn't seem to understand that, so it's basically an act of cognitive dissonance of him trying to rectify the fact that he's not beloved or just overall as well known as a Mayweather or as a Sugar Ray Leonard or, you know, et al. All the past great pounders and such. Chavez, Roy Jones, etc.
I think it goes also deeper than that. I think you're right. He does think that his accomplishment is like an automatic entitlement to fame and popularity, which is obviously not the case. But it's also just his personality. Like, outside a few bums in the fucking Bay Area, like, I don't know anybody.
Whoa, who are you referring to, bro? I'm a Bay Area native.
Well, I'm not referring to you, am I?
I don't know. You might have.
No, because I know you don't like Ward. So it's all good, Holmes. But
Okay,
it's
all right.
nobody appreciates him as a person. You know, like, I don't know anybody that's like, oh, I want to have a drink with this fucking guy, or oh, he's entertaining. Say what you want about Floyd, but he at least took on the, in WWE terms, the heel role in order to stir up some shit. Andre Ward is not even clever enough to do that. He's just a fucking shitbag by himself. He doesn't need to do anything for that. And he's just really unlikable character.
Well, I think he's smarter than Floyd, which isn't saying much because I think Floyd's an idiot. But I think you can be kind of completely clueless in terms of your public perception and your unwillingness to act or behave in a way that's best for you financially, and being, relatively intelligent. Because when I hear Andre Ward speak, I think he's a very well-spoken person, when he chooses to be. But in addition to that, it's not even the fact that, he's this great fighter, because that right now, like, obviously I know we have a difference in pound for pound rankings and whatnot, and like some of us don't even agree to that notion of pound for pound, but I don't think Ward was ever as good as Floyd ever was. So even if he was trying to, be acclaimed to Floyd's extent when Floyd was at his A game, he never was that great to begin with. So you can't even rely on the skill level, because he's never had a Floyd performance like Floyd had against Corrales. There's never been anything that breathtaking from Ward. So every aspect about it is kind of leads us to the same conclusion, and that we don't know why this guy behaves in the way that he does. And it's pretty crazy, because what is he, 31 years old now? And if he loses against Kovalev, which I'm picking him to do, like, his legacy's in a very weird spot, And I was rewatching the Kovalev fight a couple of days ago, and I couldn't believe how much bigger Kovalev was him in that fight. Kovalev just seems like a full weight division above him, and I'm picking Kovalev to beat him more handily this time, because I think all Kovalev has to do is just work on the conditioning, which I think was his biggest weakness in the previous fight.
Yeah, Lemieux's older than that.
His output was just so low.
He's 33 now. Ward is.
Oh, jeez. That's, yeah. And I think he's in a weird place where, like, I think Ward, and this is just me being like a complete, bro scientist. Like, when I watch his body and I watch that Kovalev fight, it seems like his body is like somewhere in between the 68 and 75 pound, weight division, whereas Kovalev is obviously like a full-fledged 75 or so. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting, and I'm curious that the fight is, taking place at the Mandalay Bay, because I know it didn't do too well at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, but it's still a fight that I'm looking forward to, that I'm definitely going to go to. But it's just I'm not quite sure if what Ward does to better kind of improve himself on this fight, because I actually think Kovalev even outboxed him at spurts. And I know a lot of times when people try to put quote unquote the brawler against the boxer, they just resort to the simple logic that the boxer is going to win the rematch, which is fair in most situations, like Maidana Floyd, for example. However, I think Kovalev is a much, much better boxer than your average brawler, and Ward isn't as good of a pure boxer as someone like Floyd. So
I wouldn't even necessarily call Kovalev a brawler, to be honest with you. I mean, like, the way he goes about things is generally much more of a boxing stature. He takes his time. He's very patient with his punches. He doesn't really force the issue quite as much as I think he probably should. He definitely didn't do it very much against Hopkins, for instance. He pretty much boxed Hopkins on his way to dominating him. And he largely did that against Ward too. And actually, I think that kind of worked against him, because he wasn't quite putting everything together in a as much of a physical manner as I think that he probably needed to in order to conclusively win some of those other rounds that the judges saw going the other way.
Yeah,
I think you bring up. Sorry, man. Can
ahead.
I just respond to that? Because I think you brought up a really good point here. Because you say, like, he doesn't force the issue, and that's exactly it. I don't think he is a brawler. I completely agree with you. He does always work behind the jab, and he takes his time. But on the other hand, that's also kind of my issue with him. He does not force the issue enough, in my opinion. Like, he got a bit complacent in the first fight, and I would like to see him, upping the tempo a little bit. And I wouldn't necessarily say brawl, but just, put a bit more pressure on this guy, man. Like, I don't know. It's been a criticism that I've said about Kovalev from day one. Like, he gets a bit complacent in fights. He gets a little bit passive. He forgets to go to the body. And again, given the way the first fight went, I mean, it has to be in his mindset that he has to go for the kill here, or at least be aggressive enough every round to dominate and not make it close. Because, when you have a fight that's based around 2 or 3 punches, give or take, as we saw with Golovkin Jacobs, you just end up in a situation that you might regret in the long term. So, I don't know, man. He's talking a lot of shit already now.
I thought he gassed too.
Yeah.
I think it was half and half.
It might be a stamina thing. It might be a mental thing as well.
I think it's both. I think it's both. No, because I agree with you guys entirely. He does get complacent. But you could see him he was breathing very hard and towards the end of that fight. And I agree with you. And then another thing also that Kovalev doesn't do well, that I wish he did better, was just simply shortening up his shots. He always wants to throw punches at his preferred range, which is that mid to long range. And it was working for him against Ward early, because Ward was fighting more on his back foot. But once Ward closed the distance, Kovalev just doesn't know how to shorten up his shots.
Yep. Hamada, you happy that the Son of God signed their rematch contract?
Yeah, I mean, he was moving like a cunt for a long time. I mean, talking all this shit about retiring and saying all this bullshit, innit? Like, he won the fight, and well, I don't know. I was listening to you guys chop it up, and I kind of disagree with you. I think I watched the fight back a couple of days ago as well, and obviously I had it for Ward on the night, and I don't know what I saw because he didn't win that fight, but that's another discussion. But I think Kovalev can actually outbox Ward. Like, in the first round, like, if you watch that first round, he literally schools Ward. Like, he's hitting Ward easily with the jab, with the right hand. Like, at that long range, Ward can't box with him. Ward has to come into that mid-range and that short range to fight him. He can't fight with him at long range. And he was putting it on him with the jab and the right hand. Ward had no answers. And then I think the knockdown was a problem for Kovalev because I watched it again and Kovalev didn't even turn over, fully extend on that punch and he dropped Ward. So he thought to himself, I can knock Ward out. If I dropped him with that kind of punch where I'd even put anything onto it, and I can knock him out. And I think he was waiting a lot for that perfect punch again and it weren't coming. So that's why when you guys were saying things like he wasn't up in the pace and up in the tempo, I think what he was doing, he was trying to lay back and try catch Ward again with that single shot. And that played against him, I think. So I think if he boxes and actually keeps it at long range and uses his physical advantage, because like Lim said, Kovalev was just bigger than Ward. It's not just in terms of weight. It's his arms are much longer. He's much taller. He's just his whole physique. He just had physical advantages on Ward. And if he just uses that, I think he can beat him. Honestly, Ward didn't really. I agree with you lot. Kovalev did gas towards the end of the fight, but I don't know, man. I just think he can win. He can win this fight without even having to knock Ward out. Honestly. And you see, Lim said something about he needs to work on his conditioning. I think you see conditioning. It's a thing where that builds over time. You can't improve your conditioning on one camp. You can't conditioning is a thing that you build up over 5, 6, 7, 8 years of training. It's not. He just can't. He might. The funny thing is, he might be doing personal bests in the gym in terms of sparring, in terms of runs and all that stuff. But in the ring, he will still gas the same way he gassed in the last fight because that conditioning, that natural conditioning, is not there. I think most of these training and a lot of these fighters do it's enough to get you through 6, 7, 8 rounds. But you see in them last 3 rounds, that's just your pure natural fitness that's getting you through. That's why a lot of fighters tend to gas late on because they have that boxing fitness for the first 6 to 8 rounds, and then that's when they start gassing. I think that's when it's all your natural fitness, how fit you really are. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's also a mental thing, Hamada, because if you're tensioning up and trying to get that big shot in, you're always burning a lot of nervous energy, right? I mean, yeah, just the reference to it, I've been watching a lot of James Toney lately, and that's just another example of being very calm and not forcing anything. You know, if you're completely relaxed in the ring, then your stamina becomes so much better, and it is a huge problem for certain fighters. A fighter like Groves, for example, could never fucking relax in the ring. You could see it; he's always tensed up, and then that always affects his stamina. So, and I think with Kovalev, it's the same thing. He doesn't, even though he's a fluid puncher, he does seem to be when you throw his combination, it looks natural, but I think mentally and also maybe a bit physically, he is looking for that big shot. So he's tensioning up a little bit. And if you keep doing that round after round and you're not hitting anything and you're getting frustrated, and then you got a guy like Ward coming on the inside, smothering your work, I think it just burns up a lot of energy as well. I mean, I just want to see
a lot of that wrestling.
Yeah,
wrestling as well takes a lot of your energy because they did a lot of wrestling in that fight.
Wrestling,
yeah. To be honest,
even then, though, I mean, Kovalev was able to kind of out-muscle Ward in that regard, by and large. But like Kimo was just saying, though, I do think that one of the big problems with Kovalev is the fact that it's almost like it almost looks like somebody when they're dancing and they're counting their steps, where it's he's very he's thinking ahead of time, of exactly where he's going to move, how he's going to move, and how he's going to throw this particular punch, as opposed to it just kind of coming naturally on the fly, and him just kind of going with the flow and smoothly turning his shoulders and his hips and his head and stuff when he's trying to kind of dodge the punch and then deliver one back or what have you. It's somewhat robotic the way that he moves around, and I think that kind of speaks to just that mental energy kind of being burned up. And, like you're saying, though, it's like if he could just kind of put some more punches together, I think he would have some more of that free flowing, because even guys that tend to be a bit on the robotic side in terms of a lot of their movements, once they actually at least start moving their hands, a lot of times that the rest of their body starts to kind of flow in a better tempo, and they're able to just have a better fight. I've seen it with a lot of different fighters, even fighters that are completely disparate to somebody like Kovalev's style. But I think that's something that he could integrate into his game plan.
Let's play the other side, though. What do you not think Ward would have to do to win this fight? Because a lot of people, especially the Ward fans and stuff, would say Ward worked him out later on in the fight. So I don't think Ward worked him out. I just think it was a combination of things, like we said, the gassing, the waiting for the perfect shot, etc., etc. What do you think? What do you guys think Ward would have to do?
Hamada, I think the word work should not be given in this fight, because and I don't go by punch stats. It's just what I see visually as well. I don't think anybody was outworking anybody in this fucking fight. The output was low on both ends.
I said worked him out. I said worked him out, as in like.
No, but I've heard people say that though, right? I've heard people say like, oh, Ward shut his output down, and I mean, Ward wasn't doing that much himself either. People always talk about his body work. I've heard people say, oh, Ward's body work was excellent. First of all, the body shots that he threw are fucking weak, and it's not like he's continuously going to the body like a freaking Marquez. Like it's not that much that separates him from Kovalev when you're looking at it in terms of scoring. So I don't know, man. For me, the problem is Ward can only win this if he makes it a really, really slow-paced, dirty fight again. His punch selection is still weird. I think it's really obvious that he has problems with that right hand. I mean, he barely uses it. So he really has to just slow the pace down and just grind him out for 12 rounds. And that's not an easy task, man. It's at the minimum, it's going to be a close fight. If not, have another knockdown or more for Kovalev. I don't see how it can go any other way, because Ward doesn't throw in combinations anymore. All he does is work with the left hand, and he's not going to hurt Kovalev like that, man, unless he catches him with some weird ass hook that he never sees coming. But yeah, I mean, I would have to go with Kovalev in the rematch. I just worry about that temperament, that output. That's a problem for me with Kovalev, and he even does it against fighters that are not even on his level. I've seen him do it with guys he knocked out in 4 rounds, but he still lets them off the hook sometimes and just stares at them, and kind of admires his own work.
I'm also picking Kovalev just because I think for him. Do you guys recall Kovalev ever going 12 rounds?
Against B-Hop.
Yeah, against B-Hop.
Oh, right. Wow.
Chilemba as well, right?
Yeah,
well, Jesus. Well, my point is completely moot then at that point. But I think it also does hold just a little bit of merit, because I think the 12 rounds that he won against Ward were unlike the 12 rounds that he won against B-Hop and Chilemba, right, where he was cruising. So I think him having that kind of within his mind, knowing how to go 12 rounds against Ward if necessary, I think will help him a lot in this fight. And again, it's just one of those things where it seemed like Ward was winning the rounds that he won because of how he was able to stink up the joint against Kovalev, and I just think like this is just a unique example where the one guy, you just watch it on tape, just seems to have the clear advantages, but he just doesn't know how to pull the trigger, whether it's because of his stamina or his mental acuity, I don't know, but I just feel like it's there for him to take, and I think this is a fascinating fight because, again, like, they're the only 2 players at that weight division that are made for one another, right? Because if they don't have each other, there's no big fight for either of them to pursue. So, like, the fact that they have a rematch was the best thing that could have happened to both fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed in the fight when I was watching the other day? Kovalev fights with a lot of emotion. Like, he wants to take his opponent's head off, and Ward was doing a few things like rolling his hands and acting like pretending to throw bowler punches, and I thought that kind of wound Kovalev up. And I think later in that fight, I think Ward won the psychological battle in the ring. You know how when you're fighting, it's not only just physical, it's psychological as well. I think Ward won the mental battle in the ring, and I think that kind of navigated him through and got him a few kind of rounds. Do you know what I mean? So, to be honest, I was one of the people before the first fight who picked Kovalev and said Ward was declining and he's not the fighter he was back in the Super 6. And I think what I was saying was true, and I do agree with you guys. I think Kovalev's the favourite going into this rematch. I think Ward, it's crazy to say, but Ward really doesn't have much advantages. I think Ward's declined physically. He's not, his athleticism isn't going to be enough to carry him through this fight. So that's not going to help him, in my opinion. If you talk about the jab, I think Kovalev's jab is as good or even better than Ward's. I think Ward towards the end started getting the jab working, but early on he was struggling with Kovalev's length, and that could be an issue. So it's going to be different. I think it's an uphill task for Ward. I think Kovalev, for me, in the rematch is the favourite, but it's kind of difficult to say what Ward needs to do because I actually don't know what he can do to win this fight again. I just don't know.
Let's move on because I'm sure we'll discuss this fight a lot more as we come up to it, but we don't have to discuss this topic. I just wanted everyone's opinion on it. Last week, Sauerland's had a press conference announcing that Mikkel Kessler was coming back, and it just seems like, for me, they announced this deal that they're having and this tournament and tie up with Schaefer at Ringstar Sports. You know it's going to be a weight division that he's going to be at, and he's going to be back in it, because really the Sauerlands haven't really got a big name anymore, so either he comes back at super middle or light heavy, and they're going to use him as one of the big names. Does everyone agree?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Have you noticed, Cam, that Sky and Eddie Matchroom and stuff are trying to test the waters with a Carl Froch Kessler free fight? Have you seen
I was about to say that.
Trying to test the waters and see if the public are interested.
It's a joke, man.
I know it's a joke.
In essence, I could see what they might be trying to do is basically use him as a name for some potential young super middleweight or light heavyweight on the come up in order to eat off of. You know, basically like, because there's always a lot of good fighters in every weight class that a lot of people don't really know who they are. They're under the radar. They might have been on one or two deep undercards of some big card, but they don't necessarily have a big profile. And I'd imagine that with Kessler, because his name just, you know, it rings a lot of bells in terms of, oh yeah, Mikkel Kessler, he was really good back in the day and this and that. You know, I just could see them using him to propel some young gun towards some sort of title contention or what have you.
Kessler was awful in that Froch rematch, his last fight. What was it? That was a long time ago. That was in 2013, and
now he's
that's
38.
4 years.
He's 38 years old as well now.
That's 4 years out of the ring, and Kessler is like, he's a shop-worn guy. Like, he's been around the block for a long time, and it's not just like he's had a hard career as well. Like, people forget, like, he's had a lot of injuries as well. There's been a few times where Kessler's almost had to retire, or he had to take long spells out of the ring because I remember he had an eye issue that he picked up in the Super 6, and I think he had a back injury as well, and he's had a tough career. So for him coming back, I hate to say it, but the truth is he's just coming back for the money, pretty much. I can't see why else he'd do that to himself.
Yeah, man. I remember that eye injury in the Super 6, and I remember him having that press conference.
Wasn't that the son
injury.
of God that gave that to him?
Possibly, yeah. But
I think it was, man. I think a headbutt.
Well, all I'm saying is I remember that eye injury, and then him having the press conference saying that he was going to be removing himself from the next fight, and then him speeding off in his Ferrari. I think it was a 458, just released, speeding off. And I always wondered, you know, it's pretty amazing how this guy's eyesight isn't good enough to box, but it is good enough for him to go 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds.
Straight lines, baby, straight lines
on the streets. So.
To your point, though, like, looking at super middleweight and who Sauerland have got, they got Tyrone Zuge, who's WBA. I don't know if it's regular or super. Who gives a shit? They got Groves, obviously, and they got Patrick Nielsen. So I could see them trying to build, UK versus Germany. Denmark, and have like Groves versus Kessler. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really rate Zuge.
Or Smigger.
Sorry.
What about Smigger? Smigger too?
Smigger can't make super middle. All right, let's move on. Other topic, Kimo. We both discussed it the other day. WBC basically want Rungvisai and Choco to have the immediate rematch, and also ordered Cuadras versus Estrada. Man, what a fight that is!
Oh, that's a hell of a fucking fight, and that's great news, man, because Chocolatito deserves the rematch, and I think he will. I mean, it will probably just be a repeat of last time. Let's hope that there's less headbutts, but the Thai is a tough motherfucker, and he's known to make it a dirty fight. So, on the one hand, I'm happy to actually see the rematch. On the other hand, it's going to mean a lot more damage for Chocolatito, because he's not going to knock this guy out. And it's going to be another 12 hard-ass rounds for him. So, I don't know, man. It's just more miles, and I think he's getting to that point where, the best physically is out of him. And with each fight, it's going to decline. And ideally, I would honestly like to see him go back down. If you looked at them next to each other in the ring and at the weigh-in, I mean, Chocolatito is so much smaller than him, man. Just the whole frame, the size of the legs, everything. He's just a weight class too high. And unfortunately, because he lives a good life now, I don't think he will go back down, because he doesn't have the will probably to make a lower weight. We've all seen it. If you look at him between fights, he looks quite chubby and round, He's got a little bit of Roberto Duran in him. And yeah, that's going to probably end in a sad way, unfortunately, if I'm being a bit pessimistic. Because if he keeps fighting at that weight, he's going to keep getting in these wars, man. The Cuadras fight was a war. This one was a war. And then he's going to go another 12 with this guy. I don't know what's next. If he wins the title, he's going to have another fucking tough fight on his hands. But the Cuadras against Estrada fight, happy about that. Interesting clash of styles. I don't know if it's going to be exciting, but I've been waiting for Estrada to get a proper fight again, and this is exactly it. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty sure Naota is as well.
Oh yeah, man! This was like the best news of the week. Both of these fights. I mean, along with I'm sure Cam will get into in a second, with Inoue supposedly making his debut in September. But I mean, Gonzalez definitely deserves a rematch. As much as I was disappointed in the way that the judges saw the first fight, I am happy that a fighter that fights as hard as Sisakit is going to get paid. He's definitely going to get paid well in the rematch. But yeah, with regard to Gonzalez and his weight and everything, I mean, they were even talking about K2, and them were even talking about him possibly even moving up to 118. And to me, I almost feel like K2 and HBO have been almost looking to sabotage Gonzalez this entire way with regards to them not respecting his size, his weight class, etc., and basically trying to run him through the ringer so that they could basically crown Golovkin champion. And I mean, that might be a slight bit of a conspiracy on my part, but I think it kind of makes a certain degree of sense when you see all the little big drama show BS and all that stuff. But aside from that, though, I thought that Gonzalez won the first fight in a fashion where he didn't even necessarily take that much damage outside of the head clashes, like in terms of actual like punches landed on him. Because I mean, if you look at his face after that fight, the only damage to his face really was from those two cuts from the head clashes, as opposed to against Carlos Cuadras, who damaged him with his fists. He had his whole face swollen up because he was just getting hit like nobody's business. Because Cuadras just has that level of hand speed that Sisakit doesn't. But I favor Gonzalez in a rematch. I actually think there is a possibility that he could stop Sisakit. But it would come very, very tough in order for him to do so, because there was a couple of times where he hurt him, both to the body as well as a couple of times to the chin with left hooks, and he was able to move him around. And I think a big part of what happened in the first fight is Gonzalez. It's been a while since somebody was able to really stand in there head to head, toe to toe with him, and really bang it out. Almost everybody else that he's fought has had to really try to pull off a bit of a stick and move style a lot more so. And so it wasn't until the later rounds it seemed like where Gonzalez figured out, like, oh, I remember how to sidestep. I got to sidestep this guy like I used to do, back when I was at 108 and at 105 and all that stuff. He was putting all those things back together, stuff that he had kind of almost unlearned or given up in the fact that he was just dominating his opponents just off of sheer force of will a lot of this time, and as well as the pressure, the speed, the power, etc. But against Usyk, I think he just kind of got shocked early, by that power. And actually, even if you watch the knockdown, I've watched it a few times since, and I noticed that Usyk actually headbutted him in the midst of knocking him down in that first round too. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Wait,
Usyk's really. Huh?
Sorry to cut you off. You sent me a funny video where someone painstakingly edited all the headbutts or the attempted headbutts Rugman side tried to commit against Choco, and it was kind of ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it was crazy because I didn't even necessarily see all of them, and it just goes to show how skilled he is at doing that. Incidentally, I mean that's it's against the rules, but at the same time, it still takes a certain level of acuity in order to be able to pull something like that off. As frequently as he was doing, and only get away with 1 point being deducted by Steve Willis. But I'm anxious and happy for the rematch. I'm actually even more happy for the Cuadras versus Estrada fight. It's really a shame that that's not for any kind of title or anything, because to me, basically the top 5 in the division is Inoue, Gonzalez, Cuadras, Estrada, and Usyk. Those are the top 5. I mean, that was in no particular order, just me naming them off. But Jordan Akas continues to keep ducking everybody that he possibly can, including Inoue after 2 offers that have been given to him. And Khalid Yafai is fighting a guy that just barely got ranked in the top 10. So as far as I'm concerned, Estrada versus Cuadras is the perfect kind of precursor to seeing who the winner of Gonzalez versus Usyk is going to fight. And just preliminarily, I think that Estrada is going to win that fight. I think that, especially recently, with how he looked in his last fight, he looked as crisp as he ever has. The way he fights, he kind of reminds me of James Toney, with just how smooth and slick he is in his movements and everything, and how he's able to basically make you miss and then immediately counter you with 4 or 5 shots. There's nobody that in the sport right now, I don't think, that can counter, that can kind of catch and counter or evade and counter the way that he does. And it's a thing of beauty to behold, and I think that. That technical acuity is going to be just a little bit too tight and too sharp for somebody like Cuadras, who I think kind of lives and dies a bit more so off of pure athleticism, agility, and being able to be unpredictable. Almost a little bit like Lomachenko in a way. The fact that he's so much quicker than a lot of the guys that he's able to fight. He's able to force them to kind of give chase, and he's able to stay a step ahead. I don't think that's going to work against somebody like Estrada. But I think it's going to be a great fight regardless, and I think it's pretty much a 50-50, 55-45 type fight. So I love both of them.
I think we're all picking Estrada, right, Cam? I mean,
you've
already alluded to that you think he's going to fuck him up.
He's going to beat him to the body. I can't wait.
Body shots.
That's going to be a great fight. Hamada, you got anything to add, or should we move on?
Nah, not on this subject, sorry.
I thought so, that's why I thought I'd kind of skim over it. Okay, Lim's dipped off as well. Just trying to see what else I wanted to discuss. We've covered all the things I wanted to. You guys seen any news or potential fights or fights that have been scheduled in the last week or so?
Well, one thing real quick I just have to mention, and I think you guys mentioned it on the show before, and it's kind of in the light of Kessler coming back as well. Shane Mosley has a fight in Russia. I mean, he's booked for a fight in September. It's just fucking sad, man. I don't know if you guys saw the press conference, but if you look at the way the guy looks visually these days, I mean, he looks so aged. It's incredible. He lost weight as well. I don't know. He just looks like shit. And if you watch interviews with this guy, he's not speaking properly anymore. And he's got a fight against, what's the guy's name? Grubanov. I have no fucking idea who that is. But The guy can punch apparently a little bit, and it's just really sad, man. I used to like Shane Mosley back in the day, but this guy just cannot, lay down the gloves, and he's going to go out doing some serious damage to his health, and again end up like Roy Jones. But for some reason, with Roy, it doesn't really show, and with Mosley, it is absolutely showing, and it's going to get worse. So sad, man.
Didn't Mosley's baby mother take all his money?
Yeah, she did. I mean, nowadays he still says he's well off, but she did leave him and take most of his cash. So
he's lying, man. That's why he's fighting.
Say what?
He's lying, man. That's why he's fighting. He needs that money, man.
Yeah, probably.
He needs to eat, man. He needs to eat.
Yeah. So yeah.
I also wanted to mention, as I kind of hinted at in talking about Cuadras, Estrada, etc. Now Inoue, they're saying that he's going to be making his U.S. debut in September. He's got a fight on May 21st. He's going to be defending against his number 2 contender, Ricardo Rodriguez. Number 1 contender is Rex Joe, but I don't think Top Rank wants those kind of problems for their golden boy from Hong Kong.
They don't want the problems.
And Jamie
problems.
No. And Jamie Conlon got demoted, so it looks like Rodriguez is going to enter the fray. And he's going to look to try and impress for what might actually wind up being his last fight at 115. It's not known if he's going to make his 118 debut in September, if he's going to stay at 115, or if he might go up and fight for a title, exactly what the case is going to be. But I think that's going to be really interesting, and I think once he comes to the U.S., all bets are off, man, because I think just the style that he fights in is I think it's a style that will appeal to pretty much every type of fan in the sport of boxing that exists. Just a boxer, puncher, power puncher, knockout artist. He's got pretty much all the skills. In a way, I kind of used to compare him a little bit to like Mayweather at 130, but he has that kind of mean streak in him where it's like he wants to hurt you, especially if you land a good shot on him. He'll get a little bit offended in there and try to really do some damage. And I think that's going to be really fun for everybody to be able to check out once everybody gets on board and starts recognizing the man for the talent that he has.
Naoto, man, get your passport ready. Let's go to these 2 cards because there's one on the 20th, which is a Saturday, and then the following night on the 21st. The 20th we got Andam versus Murata, Ganagan Lopez versus Ken Shiro. And then the following one you mentioned, Inoue is on there, and also Yagashi's on it. Yeah, Japan do it right when they do actually put some cards together.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost similar to the New Year's cards that they do. It's like they have a bunch of fights on one day, a bunch of fights on the next day. Here we got 5 world title fights between light flyweight all the way up to middleweight for the Murata versus Endam fight.
Oh, and Chorito's on that card as well, isn't he? Navarrete.
Yeah, Chorito Hernandez against who was that? I think it was Higa that he's fighting. The 12-0, 12 knockout fighter.
Yeah,
pretty dangerous fighter for somebody to be going against. And Hernandez is no joke either. He knocked out the guy Sizaket's stablemate. Like they're very good friends, and they train together and all that stuff. And he managed to take care of him about a week before the Gonzalez fight happened. So it's a really good fighter. A lot of really good fights between all those guys. And Murata's another guy. I could very easily see him being brought over to the U.S. as well, because if he beats Endam, he'll be the WBA mandatory, so he'll be the mandatory for Golovkin, pending exactly what's going to happen with Golovkin in the near future, if he's able to get some bigger fight, or if he's forced to just keep an HBO date and possibly fight him. And the way he looked against Jacobs, I don't necessarily count somebody like a Murata out if he's as good as I think that he might be.
Murata's fought in the States before, though, and low key on some undercards, because I think he fought on the Crawford Postol card, I think. So he has been in the States before. Yeah, he did. Well, I was mainly referring to the fact that, like, if Inoue is going to be coming over, then I could very easily see them trying to maybe like Murata versus Golovkin and Inoue on the undercard, something like that. I could see something like that taking place, basically. All right, Kimo, let's get into this week, man. Some really good
Let's do it.
matchups. Really good matchups. Where do you want to start? Should we start with Lomachenko, Sosa, or should we start in the UK in Manchester?
Let's start with Loma, man. Maybe if we get lucky, Leon jumps on when we talk about the Bucks Nation card.
Okay. Do you think it's easy work for Loma? Do you think it's gonna Sosa may cause a few problems like Salido caused him, or no?
You know this Sosa guy, right? I've seen all of his last fights, and for some fucking reason today, I realize I don't remember any of it. Like, I don't remember any of his signature shots. You know, I don't remember any of the activity that he did. It's just not a very memorable guy for some reason with me. And so I went back and watched a couple of fights. I mean, he's just a basic tough fighter. You know, I don't think he's really has anything to offer, and he's going to come towards Lomachenko, which is going to work in his favor. I think Lomachenko is just going to dance around him. And, get a good win. I hope to see...
All right, Joe,
Holy fuck, is that who I think it is?
Of course.
Oh, back when they're dead like Liam Williams, boys.
It's about fucking time, man.
Oh, what has been going on since I last been on? Hamada has turned into an absolute Twitter hate figure.
Yo, who's that? Joe Morgan?
Yeah.
I'm Mize.
Oh, boys. Missed you all.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I did, especially you, Cam.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, blood.
Oh, it's good to hear these tones again, boys.
We gotta cut you from the show.
Yeah, we do got to cut you.
Like,
Well, we hope that you found yourself, Joe Morgan, because now you finally had the fucking time because you've been so busy to call in.
I have.
He found himself like Keith Thurman.
No,
Exactly.
I've been helping Liam out with his camp in South Wales.
Oh, so that's what's up. How's he gonna look then? How's he gonna look outside?
He is going to absolutely destroy Smith on Saturday, and anyone else who thinks otherwise is, they haven't got a clue about the sport, do they?
Well, I would oppose that, but we'll get into that in a bit, Joe. Let's just...
Sorry, completely fucked it up. Sorry, I'll melt into the background.
Yeah. You completely interrupted me, man. So get in line.
You deserve that.
Yeah. It's good to have you on.
Anyway, Cam, as I was saying, Cam, hopefully we get a good knockout. I mean, I would like to see Lomachenko, go a bit more for the kill, just like he did against Martinez. But it's going to be a showcase as far as I'm concerned. I mean, here in spots in the beginning, it might be a little bit competitive, but Loma will outbox him, outwork him, and just outpower him as well. So, how do you guys see it?
Liam, what's your thoughts?
Loma's the truth, man. I think Loma's special. And I think he's great. And what surprised me was during the weigh-ins is he's actually bigger than Sosa. So I think Loma has acclimated to that weight class pretty nicely. And I think Loma's going to knock him out.
Wear your seatbelt, Lim.
Yeah, who's not wearing the seatbelt?
I always find it funny.
I don't know. That's not me.
I always find it funny when someone says someone's the truth. What does that actually mean? He's the truth.
Means
I just listen to it in a lot of hip hop songs. I don't know.
Hamada, what do you think about Loma versus Sosa?
I've only seen Sosa fight once, and that was when he beat up our Swifty Smith. He was decent, but I mean, Lomachenko's on another level. I mean, probably in the last few years, probably since Mayweather, since Floyd, I think the best fighter in terms of eye test skill, whatever you want to call it. And he's just going to play with Sosa. It's going to be easy work for him. I think Sosa, he looks tough, and he is tough, but he's really going to get stopped late.
I've been away 6 months. Nothing's changed. Hamada's still dropping Mayweather in every other fucking sentence.
He has to.
He's gonna just beat him up, man, for about 6 to 8 rounds, and he'll get stopped late. Sosa doesn't have any chance, really. I mean, he's gonna be outgunned in this fight, and yeah, on to the next. Hopefully, bigger and better things for Lomachenko afterwards.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I've only seen Sosa put in a good performance against a brave Liam Stephen Smith. He just took Smith to town, didn't he, really? I don't really know how good he is, but obviously we all know how good Loma is. I'm just tired. I just want to see Loma actually fight someone. I want to see that Salido fight again. I know, like, Salido's probably regressed since the first fight, but I reckon if you beat someone in the first fight, you'll always have their number, a bit like Groves DeGale. You'll always have that edge against them. So unless he stays down there to fight Salido, I'd rather him move up and try and fight Linares or Mikey.
Salido don't want that work.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
He doesn't, because he could have had this fight if he wanted to.
Yeah, for pennies, he could have had it.
I don't know how likely the fight with Yamanaka is, because he just stays in Japan all the time. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, Yamanaka got knocked out last year.
I know,
Yamanaka's near Lomachenko. What are you talking about? He's a bantamweight.
I'm sorry. He's talking about Uchiyama. My bad.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
He fucked me up with calling him Yamanaka. Uchiyama got knocked out. Uchiyama got knocked out last year by Jezreel Corrales. And supposedly, Bob Arum was offering Corrales a certain amount that was quite low as well. And he didn't take the offer, and neither did Salido. And this is a habit with Lomachenko, and it's something that I really don't like with regards to them. Like, they're saying that, oh, so and so ducked Lomachenko. No, they didn't. You gave him a shitty offer that anybody should be fucking insulted to receive. And now you're fighting Jason Sosa, who is the fake champion. He's the fake WBA champion. He's not even a real champion.
Is Loma part of K2? Because that sounds very familiar.
That's how they do.
I don't understand what Loma does for Top Rank, though, because I don't know if there's that many Ukrainians in the States that are going to his fights. And if you're a foreign boxer, then you're gonna have to show something in terms of knockouts to get any sort of draw on pay-per-view. So I don't understand why Bob.
Well, it's all marketing, and it's just the fact that one thing that Top Rank, I guess, does do pretty well is if you get an Olympic medal, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna probably get overpaid, which I think is what's happening with Lomachenko. I think he actually gets paid more compared to a lot of other fighters that really deserve as much or more than he's been making. I think his minimum is damn near $900,000, which is fucking obscene when you consider the fact that Gonzalez, for instance, just made $550K against Usyk Rungvisai. But that's besides the point. With regards to Lomachenko and Jason Sosa, actually talking about the fight, kind of like Kimo said, I think Sosa is just too plodding. He's too slow. He doesn't really have physical advantages in terms of height and reach that he could theoretically fall back on. He's just kind of a tough, rugged guy that kind of comes forward in a fairly basic manner and throws punches not necessarily the most correct way, which can get you far in certain circumstances. But I don't think there's anything necessarily particularly clever about what Sosa does. And honestly, I'm not sure how many of you guys actually saw when he fought Javier Fortuna, where he knocked him out and he actually got that interim title that he has. I don't even remember if it was the interim or the regular, the junior freaking WBA title. He was losing that fight. He was pretty much getting his ass kicked most of that fight, and he just kind of cracked Fortuna with a shot that Fortuna didn't see coming, because Fortuna, fights like a psycho a lot of the times and drops his hands and throws his chin out there like he's Mayorga, and he paid for it. And so that's pretty much where Sosa stands. He's really not that great of a fighter. He's just about where Martinez is. He's really kind of a top 10 level guy at 130, but he's not really the best of the best.
Can somebody enlighten you? I'm so sorry. Now to go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's really unfortunate because in a way I think this kind of, even though I think the marketing machine is working fucking fantastically for Lomachenko in terms of all these people, including like Roy Jones and Max Kellerman, rating him pound for pound above the likes of Chocolatito and above even like Ward and Golovkin and Crawford, and, all those guys who have proven way more, beaten much better fighters, never lost to a guy on the level of Salido, and yet he's getting as much or more props as all of them. That's pretty fucking incredible, especially considering the fact that he has not beaten a top 130-pound fighter yet, and yet they want to throw his name in there with the likes of Mikey Garcia, Terrence Crawford, and Manny Pacquiao already to begin with, which is, cool. Well, he's accomplished. He's accomplished things he's accomplished things at higher weight classes than Lomachenko is at.
What do you mean? Higher isn't just purely just higher, like at a bigger weight class?
Yeah, just like you were talking about how Andre Ward just looks smaller than Sergey Kovalev, and that's a big deal.
Yes.
I think it's a big deal if Lomachenko goes in there and tries to fight Mikey, Pacquiao, or Crawford.
Yeah, but we're talking about just vis-a-vis one versus the other, what they've done at two weight divisions relative to their own weight divisions. That doesn't matter.
Crawford's win over Postol dwarfs everything that Lomachenko has done.
I don't think it's that much better than the Walters win, just purely on name value.
I'm not talking about purely name value. I'm talking about. I would agree with you there, Lim.
So I don't know really what the big deal is, and in separation to that, just pure skill-wise, I mean, I can see why people would rank him maybe not number one, but he sure as hell looks better than Ward recently, right? He looks better than Golovkin after that Jacobs win. So I don't know. I just think Loma's good, and I just wanted to ask you.
I'm not saying that he's not a good fighter. I'm just saying that I find it amusing that he gets.
Which I agree too. I agree with that.
I just find it. I find it amusing that he gets as many props as he does for doing comparatively less than a lot of these other guys really had to build up until they got to.
I agree with that, except the Crawford part, because I don't think Crawford has put his work in either yet. Because I think most of the guys that he beat,
Crawford definitely has a way. Crawford definitely has a ways to go too. But I think he's further along than Lomachenko is.
Yeah, but
Neota, real quick,
the Walters win is better than anything Crawford's done.
I don't think so. I think Postal at the time was pretty highly rated. In that version of Walters, like, I know you can shoot me for being illogical here, but I think that version of Walters that he fought was such a shitty fight. Like, I think that has to have some kind of impact on how we assess that.
I think there's a lot of guys that could have beat the shit out of Walters that night.
Nah, that's what Loma did to him. That's the shit he gets, because he makes guys look basic. People just think.
Well, and he didn't make Salido look basic, and Francisco Vargas, was able to. Francisco Vargas was able to actually hang with them, and Bichelt annihilated Vargas. So I mean, if you're just trying to say a vis-a-vis thing, to borrow a quote from Lim. Where's Burchell's fucking pound for pound ranking? I don't think that he deserves one necessarily, and he doesn't have one.
Let's move on. Kind of pound for pound is fucking gay anyway, man. Come on.
It is. But let me wrap it up by saying this. So I think the reason why that people can kind of rank him at a pound for pound level right now is because the division, just boxing in general, is so weak right now. I think in terms of like a guy that really wows you. We don't have a guy like Manny or Floyd anymore who we can just like point as the best that are active right now. But I wanted to ask you guys, do any of you guys know what the whole situation is with Salido and why Lomachenko's not fighting Salido? And why that fight fell apart?
They gave him I think 2 terrible offers, and Salido basically said, shove it up your ass. And so they decided to go on their merry way.
HBO budget, though. HBO budget.
It's not just HBO that pays those purses, Hamada. It's not just HBO. It has to do with.
It's not a serious comment, Neota. He's not being serious.
How much was he offered?
I don't know, John.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was pretty damn low. It was less than what Walters got.
You see what Salido's... Let me just say something. You see Salido's trying to do what Marquez is doing to Pacquiao. He's trying to dine out on that victory and not fight again.
But the difference is... You know what the difference is, Hamada? Salido's a fucking Uber driver in Arizona. Marquez has fucking $40 million that he's sitting on like a fucking Don. That's the difference.
Yeah, but Salido knows that Lomachenko is going to be an all-time great, and he's going to hope that no one else beats him, so he can later on say, I'm the only one to beat this guy.
Yeah, while he's
You know what I'm
driving
trying to
to the fucking airport. Is that really what his legacy is?
So you can get them headlining slots at the TBV appreciation.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think you guys are hating a little bit on Orlando Salido, man. He's a
I
fucking
am,
millionaire
bro.
as well. But
No, he's not. Why the fuck is he driving an Uber? There was a special on LA Times where it was just articling this guy's career and how he's an Uber driver now. It was incredible.
Because there was
I just
It's not-
googled his net worth.
well,
It's $2.5 million.
Get on what website?
On
No,
celebritysnetworth.com.
Is that site sponsored by Mchunu?
Oh my
No,
god.
KH runs that side.
Oh, okay. All right, then then I take everything back that I just said, and it's legit.
No, but the Uber thing. Supposedly that's not, and his manager even says that's. It's not because he has to. It's just something that he likes to do in his spare time. Because when he's not training.
Who likes to be an Uber driver on their spare time? What the fuck?
Yes.
Is this
Oh, that is some fucking Kelly and Conway Trump administration bullshit, man. Fuck out of here.
No, but I'd imagine he's made some good money. He doesn't seem like somebody that spends shit frivolously.
Need to
He
clear
beat
my
the shit
head.
out-
Let me go Uber
He
driving.
beat the shit out of Juanma. He kicked Orlando Cruz's ass. He's had a long career. He fought Marquez back in the day. He fought Robert Guerrero. He fought Turtsack, the legend.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have to clean toilets, but I just like to clean toilets on the side. It's just something that I like doing.
I mean, when you fight somebody named Turtsack, I think cleaning toilets isn't really that far from.
That is a fair point. That's a good point. Okay. Anyways, I'm just disappointed, man, because I want to see Lomo versus Salido and just have Lomo wrap up that entire kind of situation for good, because I think he
even if he didn't fight Salido, if he fought Corrales or Burchell, or both of them especially, to me that's water under the bridge by and large, simply because of the fact that, like I said, Vargas and Salido drawed, and Burchell beat the dog shit out of Vargas, and then he's going to beat the dog shit out of Takashi Miura, and Jezreel Corrales knocked the crap out of Uchiyama, who was the number one fighter at that weight class. Don't let anybody tell you different. And so that makes Corrales the number one guy. He beat the man. Huh?
I said Hoochie Mama is not the number one guy.
Oh, who was
Hoochie Mama?
Never even fought at 130.
I'm just trolling you, Nicky. I'm just trolling you, man.
But
God.
Hoochie Mama.
But yo,
I know you know that song.
Yeah,
What song is
I-
this? Uchi wali wala, uchi bang bang.
Shit, man, we're doing a hip hop special already, and Leon's not even here. Let me just jump in quickly. Go back to my prediction on the fight. I think it is going to be easy work, like you guys have alluded to for Loma. Sosa, as you guys said, he's very plodding. He puts a lot of weight over his front foot. He kind of looks downwards as well. So that shot that Loma caught Rocky with, I think he'd be able to get that left uppercut, right hook on him.
Rocky from Stocky?
Rocky from Stocky, exactly. Also, the fight against Fortuna, there were moments, there were rounds where Fortuna was kind of easily outboxing him using lateral movement, and Sosa didn't really have any answer to it. He's very straight lines. He'll be on the outside and he'll leap in with a 1-2 and leave himself quite open. I think this step aside counter will work well for Loma. So I think it'll be easy work. I hope Sosa could. Lim, you're getting a lot of noise from your mic, Lim.
Mute yourself.
Yeah. So I hope it's competitive, but I don't think it will be. That's my 2 cents. Unless anyone's got anything else to add, we can just move on to the undercard, which has got his homies, the Ukrainians. But just quickly, for the guys in the States, is there a reason this fight's in this in this area of the world? Because is this place just on the outskirts of Washington?
Where's it taking place now?
It's in Maryland, the MGM National Harbor in Ox Hill, Maryland.
Oh, that place just opened. That place just opened. It's a brand new like hotel resort in over there by like DC area.
Right.
So
apparently it's looking
to have
sold out, right?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea, but I know that it's like a brand new hotel, and they're looking to basically christen it. They want to have a lot of fights there, and they're almost trying to make it like almost like an Atlantic City-esque location for boxing in the near future.
It's
a brand new place, though.
Kimo is sold out. I just spoke to Jim Boone, and he told me it's sold out.
I was gonna say exactly the same thing, bro. KO Ticket said it was the hottest ticket in the market. So
Hottest ticket in town, mate.
Yeah, it's.
Cam, leave this bum talk. Let's get to the real fight this weekend.
But get to it, man. Calm down. We know you're only here for Williams, Joe, but calm down. Slow your roll.
So pumped
for
for it.
Building to that, man.
I just want to touch on the two undercard fights. We got Usyk on the undercard fighting Michael Hunter. I want to see if Naoto knows much about this guy. Undefeated, 12 fights, but I don't think I've ever seen him fight.
He's fought on, like I've mentioned before, a couple of like the PBC undercards and stuff. You know, not necessarily highly known guy, but he's actually, I think, fairly dangerous for somebody like Usyk. He was a pretty good amateur. He beat Brazil, I think, 2 or 3 times on different occasions. He was a guy that he floated between fighting as a heavyweight and a super heavyweight in the amateurs versus cruiserweight and heavyweight in the professionals, of course. He's a more of a textbook style boxer. But I mean, he has pretty good hand speed, pretty good foot speed, and like I said, I mean, if he's considering that he's only 6'2", which is not necessarily small for like a cruiserweight, but is definitely small for a heavyweight. And the fact that he was able to outbox Brazil on several occasions back in the day, I think that that speaks fairly highly of him in light of the things that we found out about Brazil, particularly recently. But this is a fairly large step up for him. His last fight was against Isaiah Thomas, who was a fellow undefeated prospect, but he pretty much took care of him. He damn near shut him out in that fight fairly handily. So him against Usyk, I think, is a fairly interesting fight. I think this guy's a bit of a dark horse in terms of a lot of people don't necessarily know too much about him, but I think he's a pretty dangerous opponent, especially considering how Usyk looked against Mchunu.
How many more fights do you give Usyk at cruiser, do you reckon, before he goes up? Throwing that out to the floor there, guys.
I mean, as long as he keeps winning, I'd say like 2 or 3.
No, I think he'll be there for a while. I don't think he's going to go to heavyweight anytime soon.
No,
he's got the skills, but I just think there's some giant dudes in heavyweight these days, and
I think he gets hurt bad at heavyweight.
I think Briedis would be a good fight, and then maybe one more against is it Kovalev? I think he's a light.
If he puts his hands on his weight, if he puts his hands on his waist and then exhales like that, then like Kimo did when he was with Lim in New York, that when he does that shit, I think Joshua knocks his fucking head into the rafters.
Agreed. Yeah, I need to get some shit off my chest about Usyk, man. I don't know why everybody rates this guy so high. First of all, he's got a fucking terrible style. I hate watching him.
It's his movement. Everyone's like, I can't believe a guy that big is moving like that.
Well, I don't give a fuck if you're that big compared to your opponent. I don't want to see you moving around the ring pretending to be Lomachenko, man. What the fuck? It's ridiculous. You see a guy that's like almost a head taller than his opponent, and he's like trying to dance around the ring. Okay, does that make him a great athlete? Maybe. But this is fucking boxing, man. I don't even think he puts his punches well together. I don't think he punches with authority. His wins are not convincing. Even in his
defense, his best opponent's been that Golovkin, who's like very pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, and he stunk out the joint. He stunk out the fucking joint.
Yeah,
and Golovkin was coming straight at him, dude.
Some of these guys, you got to put them in with class to really get them in the groove, sort of thing. Class.
No, I fucking class. I disagree with you, man.
He looked like
fucking
he was trying to
disagree
get
with
in the groove with Mchunu, and he couldn't get into it at all.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
was just
Kimo.
literally- I was watching that Mchunu fight as we were talking, right? And dude, that was a poor performance. His punching technique is not great. If he is as talented as everybody says he is, he would punch with a lot more authority, man, and sit down a little bit more in his punches. He doesn't get much respect from his opponents.
Yeah, but I think he could decision most of the top heavyweights just by outboxing them. He wouldn't even have to knock them out. He could just.
Did you say heavyweights?
What? Name some.
Did you say heavyweights?
I reckon he could definitely.
Yeah, he did.
I reckon he could
What the
beat Wilder.
fuck?
I reckon he could definitely beat Wilder.
Wilder would
No.
spank him.
No way would Wilder beat
Wilder would put him to sleep.
No
Yes,
way.
agreed.
You can't even be able to fucking lay a glove on him.
Are you kidding? His movement is not that great, dude. What are you talking about?
Mchunu laid a glove on.
Lost your
Alive.
operator.
Morgan, you're fucking trolling, man. I don't know why everybody's
Hey,
so excited about Usyk. I really
pick-
don't know.
I'd pick Andrew Ruiz to beat Usyk.
I'd probably
I
pick him
picked
too.
Chris Arreola to beat Usyk.
I don't know. I'm
This is
like,
Calm
some
down.
serious
Calm down, somebody.
sentiment.
But most top 10 heavyweight would beat his ass, man. Come on.
No way.
He can't even keep these cruisers off of him, man. He doesn't have enough
He's
fucking
no
power.
threat to him. He knows he's not going to lose, so he doesn't have to box well.
Nah, I can hear it in your voice. You're just trolling,
Wait.
man.
No.
No, I don't even know the guy he's facing, and I'm not really interested in as long as I don't see like a standout performance from this guy, I'm really not interested in it. I think people are more interested in his Twitter and his fucking Instagram because he posts pictures of himself in the bathtub, and everybody gets all excited about it.
and
I don't know
he
what
has
the
a big
fuck-
stupid haircut.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know, man. This guy is not a great boxer. He just hops around the ring. He doesn't. I mean, people
Motherfucker
talk
looks
like
he's trying
about
to
him
beat
like he's
Charlie Nash from Street Fighter.
But people act like he's some sort of killer boxer puncher. He's not, man. He's really not. He's not that slick either.
He's a very good fighter, man. But I know what you mean. He's not like he's not a badass. Like he's not a beast, but he's a very good boxer. Like you know what I'm saying. But he's legit. Like you don't.
He's good.
Like amateurs.
He's good at what he does.
You're not
Like,
legit.
in a way, he kind of reminds me of Lomachenko, but at a lower level in terms of the fact that it's like when he's on top, like he's a good on top fighter. He's good when everything's going his way and all is well. When I think once he really faces some adversity, he's gonna fucking fold like a lawn chair.
Yeah, but you can't weigh 200 pounds and fight the way Lomachenko does. I know he tries to, but it just won't work. Like he's too heavy
Muhammad Ali
to
did it.
move like Lomachenko. So, but his footwork is like is incredible for a guy his size. Like he's legit 6'3", 6'4", and he moves like literally he's a welterweight. Like his footwork is that good. But I know what you're saying. He's kind of got a little bit of Luke Campbell about him, where he doesn't really turn over.
And I don't think his footwork's any better than David Hayes was at cruiserweight.
No, stop it.
I love how you're using the metaphor of an amateur that's crap as a Luke Campbell.
Wait,
Yo, by the way, I agree
Campbell
with-
was a fantastic amateur, but as a pro, not so much.
Yo,
It's
but
'cause
I agree with Nota, man. I don't think he's that much better than a David Haye, for example, or a cruiserweight in terms of boxing ability. David Haye doesn't push his punches, yeah? Fucking Usyk does. He throws a lot of weird-ass arm punches, man. He doesn't punch-
David does now because his leg is destroyed, but that's the point.
I don't know. I'm really not convinced, and I think comparing him to Lomachenko, and you guys know I'm very critical about Lomachenko. And
Why?
Well, that's another discussion. But I'm just saying, if you, I don't think comparing Usyk to Lomachenko they're not even the same discussion, bro. Lomachenko is so much more talented. Just having a pair of legs doesn't make you a great boxer. It really doesn't, man. Lomachenko's punching technique, the way he goes to the body, the way he puts force behind his punches as well, the way he was able to hurt his opponents and stop them in their tracks. Usyk doesn't have that shit, man. I think he's quite sloppy a lot of times.
If there was a Jason Sosa at heavyweight, I'd think like, you know what, damn, like that would be a good fight for Usyk. Like I'd be legitimately thinking like, wow, you know, that's a pretty solid test.
There is. His name's Derek Chisholm.
Galas.
All right.
Anyway, do we still need to talk about Usyk because his opponent is not really noteworthy anyway?
No,
So
What's the other fight, Cam?
It's Alexander Gvozdyk versus Gonzalez, whose first name I can't pronounce, so I'm not attempting. But he did.
Is this the Gonzalez that nearly beat?
Most people thought he beat Pascal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that could be a good fight.
I think that should be a good scrap. Yeah. He's only
I think it will be.
He's only got those 2 losses, the Pascal, and then he lost a tight one against Shabaransky, and then 1-2 on the first round TKOs. But yeah, I think that will stay the show, possibly. But Naota, what are HBO doing? Is it a 3-fight card over there, or just a 2-fight?
You know, I could actually look that up right now if you'll just give me a moment.
No problem.
But, you need to talk.
Yeah,
I think it's 3.
Should be. I know Box Nation would probably have like 5. They probably have like 2 crappy undercard fights as well that no one cares about. But at least they're giving us content though, Kimo, eh? In their in their Cabo studio.
I don't mind. It's a good card.
I think your guys will get like Jesse Hart and like Mike Reed. You know, a couple of guys
this is the guy that beat Chilemba last time, didn't he?
Yep, Gvozdyk made him quit. Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's quite impressive. That fair play.
Gvozdyk, for me, he's a bit like what I was talking about Briedis. It's like I can't jump on the hype train yet. There's something about him that like I can't put my finger on it, but I can't jump on yet. I have to be reserved a bit.
Right. Well, Chilemba took Tony 24 rounds, so you know there's the yardstick if you ever need one.
Did he stop Chilemba?
Yeah, but that was when
he did.
Wow.
He,
who beats us at Chilemba?
Exactly. Gvozdyk, apparently.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm really surprised I'm surprised you don't remember that, Hamada. I mean, even though you are a casual, I mean, it was on a pay-per-view card, so.
Yeah, you called for Yamanaka to fight Lomachenko, so he's a casual.
That was me.
I just follow
Cam,
Joe's
tell you
lead.
something.
I'm blaming that one fully on him.
No, I'm turning into that Adam Smith from the Boxing Asylum, just ultimate casual.
Naota, any joy?
Yo, why you name dropping like that, man?
Because I don't care anymore.
Naota, any joy finding this 2 or 3 fight card?
Well, let's see. I can't see exactly the way it's listed because I'm looking on HBO site and it's convoluted as all hell. But I see that it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So to me, that says that's about 3 fights. So I think it'll be all 3 of them.
Yeah, Beast Mode saying like
Ukrainian takeover.
Tommy Karpinski dropped Gvozdyk in that first round until he kind of started to beat him down and made him quit as well. So that's another reason.
That's the interesting thing about Gvozdyk. I wanted to really mention that I didn't think he looked very good in that Karpinski fight. If you were to tell me that same guy was going to go and beat the shit out of Chilemba the way that he did, I would have been like, fuck out of here, like you're bullshit, But he did it. So to me, in a way, that kind of says that Gvozdyk might be a little bit inconsistent, and depending on where he is in that yo-yo of consistency, Yaneski Gonzalez could potentially give him a really good fight. I thought he beat Pascal. I thought he actually could have beat Shabransky too. I thought Shabransky was fairly fortunate to actually get the decision in that fight. So Gonzalez isn't necessarily like a super tricky, super classy type of fighter, but I mean he's really good at what he does. He's really good as a pressure fighter, and I think Gvozdyk might have a little bit of trouble against somebody that's really pressing him hard and kind of trying to get the leverage advantage in terms of being able to kind of step in on him and really get full leverage on the shots, as Gvozdyk is almost trying to be up a little bit more on his toes. I think that actually might potentially work against him. But if the same Gvozdyk that showed up in the Chilemba fight shows up in this fight, I do favor him to beat Gonzalez.
I like Gonzalez, but he really slaps with his punches, and if he doesn't get Gvozdyk's attention with that power, I can see Gvozdyk just beating him down slowly, because he does really hit with the inside of the glove. But he does kind of come forward and keep pressurizing, so maybe that'll get to Gvozdyk. We'll see. But anyone else got anything regarding this fight or the other 2 that we already mentioned?
Cam, shall I tell you something?
Go ahead.
I'm on the hype train, man, for Gvozdyk. I fucking like this guy.
Now get off, man. You're gonna derail it.
No, dude. I
Looks
started.
like-
Remember,
Put your money on
remember,
Gonzalez, folks. It's over.
Remember, I gave him knockout of the year last time from the Muhammadi KO.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That was my knockout of the year, and I don't know, man. Hamada, you like watching mitt work, right? Watch this guy on the mitts, man. Fucking beautiful, dude. He is just very, very, very crisp. And we always talk about Mikey Garcia's right hand, and he does have the best right hand in boxing. But this guy is not too far from it, man.
Kimo,
He throws a
I'm gonna watch
beautiful.
them now.
Kimo on the mitts.
He throws a.
On the mitts. Is he
What?
better than Katie Taylor though?
No, Katie's a fucking beast, but
Exactly.
I mean, he's just very. I mean, you could say he's a little bit basic, Gvozdyk, but I just love the way he throws that straight right, man. He properly turns it over, just like Mikey. It's just beautiful, and I think he's a really good boxer. I really enjoy watching him. I think his technique is just spot on. I think he is. If you compare him, for example, what I said about Usyk, he is a way more natural boxer for me. And he doesn't move in excess, he moves only as much as he needs to. I really like this guy. I'm not quite sure about the chin.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying I'm not quite sure about the chin, but Uneski is a guy that will come forward, which is going to make this a great fight. I think this will be the best fight of the HBO card, 100%.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. It's a great fight, man. Watch this guy, man. He's exciting, and who knows? Maybe in the future we can see him versus Kovalev in fucking Russia, man. There'll be a fucking war, dude.
I think that there might be some potential for that. Considering the fact that he beat Chilemba more impressively than Kovalev did, and like you said, the way he puts his punches together and everything, he has a lot more of a pro style than the likes of like Lomachenko and Usyk, who tend to be like more of like those point scoring type fighters. It's like they're looking to hit you a couple of times here and there, move around a lot, and there's almost a lot of wasted movement. He really doesn't waste very much movement. Like every time he's moving his feet, it's in order to get himself back into position in order to land combinations on you and break you down. And that's exactly what he did, and I'm sure that's probably what he has planned for Gonzalez. So I'm looking forward to it.
Plus, his nickname is The Nail, which is fucking great as well.
That's a terrible nickname.
No, man. You fucking hate it, bruv.
What if he fights somebody named The Hammer? Then he's in trouble.
Exactly.
Right?
But Hamada, he trains in Robert Garcia's gym, so Sekbak has like a shitload of workout vids from him, man. A lot of good videos you can watch.
All right, Kimo, let's
Watching
move on.
them now.
Joe Morgan's fellow Welshman, Liam Williams, is fighting Liam Smith in Manchester. Kimo, you were kind of saying to me the other day, I've done my research, I've been watching some fights, you really want my opinion and shit. You lay your cards out first, and then I'll fire back.
Well, can we just take a moment just to appreciate that this fight may still not go ahead?
Why do we need to appreciate that?
Because I've been there. We've been there too many times with this individual. So until the bell goes, let's assume it's off until it's actually on.
All right, Kimo, your thoughts?
Great fight, first of all. Great fucking fight. And props to Box Nation. A lot of these, domestic level cards they used to put in the past were absolute dog shite, and this is a good one, man. And let me shit on the Smith and the Gallagher team a little bit, because normally I kind of defend them for the sake of trolling, but what really pisses me off about them in this fight, and yes, I have watched the entire press conference, which makes me a sad fuck, but whatever. I can't stand the fact that they think they're like levels above.
I know
of his opponent. Like if you look at, honestly, if you take away, like if I have the two resumes in front of me on paper and I just put a little cross through Canelo, you're looking at the same resumes.
Yeah, but that doesn't even count. He was a punching bag for Canelo.
Exactly, and you lost. You got fucking destroyed, schooled.
It's the entire stable has some sense of entitlement because they're the Sky's little darlings. Look at who their best wins are. The best win of any Gallagher fighter is a guy from Peru or Chile or wherever he's from. And we had no clue about him before he fought Kevin Mitchell, and we haven't heard from him since.
Wait, hold up.
he fought Canadian Jose.
He's a beast.
But do you know what I mean? Barroso and Rocky from Stocky, they're the headline wins of that stable, and they seem to think that they're some sort of big dogs, you know, the TMT, the flipping wild card of the UK. Carry on.
Dude, it's really fucking sad because they keep on, and Box Nation is a bit guilty of this as well. They keep on saying like, "Oh, you've been under the bright lights in Texas fighting Canelo. You know, how's that gonna affect your, what the fuck they're saying? It's bullshit. You know, like just because you went to Dallas, Texas, and got destroyed doesn't mean that you have like better experience than the other guy. It really doesn't. I mean, I don't get it. You got fucking destroyed. You're not getting credit for a loss, and that's one fight. That's one fucking fight. Name me the second best win. No, name me the best win that Beefy has. What's the best
Kimo,
win?
That was a brave performance. That was a brave performance.
He was brave.
His second best win is Eric the Eagle.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who's his cousin?
I don't even know who that is, man. They're to me, this is
Eric Ochin got robbed in that fight. I'm putting that out there.
Oh, really? Did he fight him?
Yeah, I watched the fight. It was like it could have gone either way as well.
Okay, that says a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah. So this is so Joe. This is a true 50-50 fight in my opinion. I mean, I'm picking the blinker as Cam likes to call him.
Don't. That's harsh. Don't say that.
Yeah, Cam is a bit cruel when it comes to that, but
bro, that eye's going to be closed.
Yeah, I'm going.
He's not going to see that punch coming.
Yeah, that's out of
What's
order.
Leon done to you, Cam?
He's fucked me up.
Yeah.
But honestly, let me just finish the boxing part of this, right? So if I look at Williams, I think he's the more natural fighter. I think he moves a little bit better. I think he's got better punch selection. I think his body shots are just as good as Gallagher body shots. So I don't know, man. I think pure on boxing ability, I would have to go with Williams. I like his jab, by the way. I think he's got a strong jab. So
you KO'd someone with a jab.
Yeah. And you know what the thing is? You know what Beefy's going to do, right? Beefy's going to stand in front of him and let him use that fucking jab, and he can throw it. He can push it straight through the guard, man, because that's exactly what fucking Beefy does. He did it against Canelo as well. He just stands there, and he literally needs 3 or 4 seconds of a static target in order to start letting his punches off. I mean, it's a typical Gallagher.
You don't understand how much skill that takes, though, Kimo. You have to stand there and you completely analyze every square inch of the opponent in order to properly place your punches exactly where they're going to do maximum damage. Because it only takes one shot. Oh, wait, no, we're not talking about that guy. My bad. Never mind. Carry on.
But they need to watch some Margarito tapes, man, about letting your fucking hands go when you're a pressure fighter. I mean, these guys, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm picking Williams.
All right, Kimo. I agree to some of what you were saying. I call this kind of a mirror match. Like both guys are very similar in stance, technique. Both got high guards. I agree. Probably Williams has got the better jab, but I disagree about punch selection. I actually think Beefy has better punch selection. Williams is kind of everything behind his jab. Everything starts from the jab. So if you can kind of time him, and with Smith, sometimes it's lead. Right hands, he'll hook off the jab. I've even seen him throw kind of lead left hooks to the body if the opportunity was there. So I think he has the better punch selection. But one thing I noticed about Williams, because I was doing my research too, Kimo, as you were doing yours, Williams shoots the jab and it kind of comes down to his chest and then he brings it back up. So there's definitely opportunity for Smith to throw the right hand over the top. Smith does a similar thing, but he brings his up to his shoulder, so he might be able to just catch the punch a bit, take some sting off it. I totally agree about the way Smith does what a lot of Gallagher fighters does, including like what Crollo did against Linares, where he stands there, absorbs all the punches, resets his feet, and then comes forward. Like, there isn't much, catching and shooting. there are opportunities for him if he does that against Williams, because Williams, he stays in the pocket sometimes after he drops his punches. I know Gary Lockett was very vocal when he fought in his last two fights. The one against, I think the guy was called, I'm trying to bring you up now. Gorbix. Gorbix, he was always in the pocket. Even against Cochran, he was doing the same thing. So I definitely... What's interesting, I was going to say it was going to be like a 55-45 fight until the weigh-in today, and, you know, Smith missed weight. Can
you explain what's happened since? Because I saw he missed weight and I haven't seen... Has he had to forfeit a purse or anything, or is it just he's missed weight, but we'll carry on anyway?
Yeah, I've been at work all day, and basically I came home, had some food, and we started to do the show. So I'm not 100% clued up to what's actually happened. But I did read something that Leon sent to me, and he's put out basically a statement saying that he apologises to his fans and stuff like that. And basically,
so is the vacant title on the line for Williams then?
Yeah, so that interim WBO is only available to Williams. But what's interesting is he's saying that he was told that he has 1 hour to try and make the weight again, and because he thought that would be not good for his body to actually try and take almost 2 pounds off within 1 hour. So he declined that, and then he's saying about half an hour later he was told it was actually 2 hours. So he would have attempted it if he knew initially that it was 2 hours, but he was told it was 1 hour.
That is bollocks.
I don't know.
Bullshit.
Coming out with all that afterwards, it does sound like you're just bullshitting. So I don't know about that. But my point about the weight is, like, even being like 2 pounds over, he looked very drawn at the weight. So I'm still favouring Smith, but from being a 55-45 to me now it's a 50-50, because Williams, if he attacks that body, he might be able to slowly break Smith down. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's the fight of the card. I think the Petrov Flanagan fight.
You're picking Smith, but by KO or points?
I'd probably say points. Initially, I was maybe going to go for late stoppage, but seeing how drawn he was at the weigh-in, he could almost be like a dead man walking almost tomorrow. Like, depending on how he's going to rehydrate. The later rounds might be pretty tough for him, especially if he does the high guard for 6 rounds, does nothing, and then he might not have enough left to try and make an attempt to win the fight in the second half. So I'm looking forward to it, though. It should be a really good fight.
Cam, you know what my problem is with your with what you just said? You mentioned a few times stuff like punching over his jab, countering. You're talking about a fucking Smith. You know what I mean? When do they punch with their opponents? They don't. They wait until they stop moving and don't throw, and then they will punch. These guys never fucking counterpunch, and their stance and their whole demeanor doesn't allow it, man.
And just to pick up on that as well, you're saying that Williams comes off his jab, everything follows from his jab, and I completely agree it does, because, you know, Gary Lockett's got a very fundamental sort of style there. So if you take away his jab, you're going to stop half of Williams' work. But can Liam Smith have does he have the technical ability to negate someone's jab, or is he going to stand in front of them like a little pudding and just get jabbed, and then right hand combination? That's probably what's going to happen.
Well, Kimo, I was saying to you that the other day, we had a conversation. I said, watch the Liam Smith-Wellborn fight, because in that fight, like, both guys were trading. Yeah, Wellborn was, we praised him a couple of weeks ago when he fought Marcus Morrison, because, you know, his output was excellent, and he just kept coming forward even later on. And Smith did have issues with him, but when they were trading in the pocket, Smith was catching and shooting. Like, he was looking for that counter hook. So I disagree about that. I don't think he is like a classic Gallagher fighter where he absorbs everything. He does try and look for openings occasionally.
Yeah, but again, you're talking about in the pocket. A guy like Scott Quigg was also good at doing that. I thought, you know, people talk about bullshit about Quigg, but he was out fighting Frampton in the pocket and also countering him on the inside. But let me put it like this: if Smith takes away Williams' jab, I will fucking order a Smith Bros t-shirt and have it sent to Abu Dhabi, man. That's a fucking promise right there. I swear. He will not fucking do that. None of these guys have the ability.
if it's not on the inside, they have no fucking clue on how to take away a jab. And all they can do is catch it on the gloves and watch it go straight in between their guard. Okay, you saw it against Canelo. You saw it against other fighters, man. These guys have this issue with every fight.
And the thing is, as well, Gallagher has the same game plan no matter who his fighter is or who his fighter is fighting. It doesn't matter if it's Canelo, Shezloka, Barroso, John Murray. It'll be the same game
Sosa.
plan. It will just be tuck up, get through the first 5-6 rounds, hope they gas and pile it on late. Every time. There's nothing else. There's no variation to that. And Liam Williams is so conditioned that he will be able to go 12 rounds with a good output, and he's a good fighter.
Cam, let me tell you what's going to determine this fight. Yeah, if Williams gets Smith's respect early, and I think he should because he punches hard enough, right? You know how this shit's going to go. Smith's going to come at him with a high guard. If Williams punches hard enough for him to shell up, then in my opinion, unless he has like a fucking really bad gas tank towards the end, he will win this fight comfortably, I think. But if he doesn't, if Smith will keep coming on forward and piling on pressure in the later rounds and he has actually opportunities to pin him against the ropes and start teeing off, then we have a problem. But I honestly think that Williams is good enough and has a good punch selection as well to the body to be able to take a little bit out of Smith, and he should be able to win this, man. He should. I mean, just looking at his boxing ability, he should be able to.
And I think as well, he's wanted this fight for years now, and Liam Smith has always felt he's above that. He's finally got his guy. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna quit or gas or give up. He's going like this is. And Liam, I don't think Liam Smith even really wants this fight. He wants to be up there with the big 154 pounders out in America. He probably thought the Canelo fight would springboard him on, and he'd sort of turn into a bit of a Jamie McDonnell, potter out there every few months for a big fight and get paid shitloads. It's not going to happen, and he's having to come back to domestic level now. You've seen that because he's missed weight. There's no motivation there. And I don't even think he's a big 154 pounder. I mean, he said today in that statement, which is laughable, it's been 7 months since I made the weight, as if that's some sort of inordinate large amount of time where chap fighters don't fight for every 7 months. Like, oh my God, mate, get the violins out. You haven't fought in 7 months. Like, there's no motivation there. And all the momentums with Liam Williams, he hasn't had a point. He's stopped everyone for a few years now. And I get, obviously, Liam Smith is a big jump up in class to probably the guys that he's been fighting in, like Corcoran and Michael Lomax. But I just think he'll have too much for him. He wants this too much. This is the guy that he's been wanting for years now.
It's interesting as well when you look at the box rec and that little 4-rounder, that cheeky, sneaky 4-rounder he had in Spain.
Yeah, I know. It's all complete for nothing now.
No, but the thing is, there's no even weights listed for that fight, so he must have been very big during that fight as well.
And what's even worse as well is how much shit Liam Smith was giving Williams about his training camp, saying he's overtrained, blah, 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 and then he goes ahead and misses weight. Like, yeah. It's just embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, Hamada, what do you think about this fight? Hamada, you think Williams is punching hard?
Yo, I've actually never seen Williams fight.
Casual.
So it's hard for me to make a prediction, but
it's hard.
I'm Team Smith Bros, so I'm gonna go with Beefy to do the business.
Yeah, man.
I think that Joe Gallagher is the best trainer in the world, and he's gonna put together the game plan, and he's gonna do the business. It was all a tactic missing weight as well, so he can come into the ring like 180 pounds. And just mussing him around, and but I'm completely trolling. I actually don't know who's gonna win this fight. Like I said, I've never seen Williams fight, but I don't know, man. It would be great to see Gallagher take another L. Another L would be joyful. Love that shit.
Is this on BT, Cam?
Yeah, this is the first official card that is the tie-up between Box Nation and BT, so it is on BT Sport, I think.
Are they keeping the BT broadcasters, or have we got No More Party Davids coming across?
Party David.
I think it'd be more likely that they'll keep Box Nation, but I think the BT...
Ian Dark.
I think the BT card starts later, so it's going to have like the better fights, and obviously Box Nation will probably start at like fucking 5 PM or something because they've got
2
so
PM.
many fights. Yeah, exactly.
They'll probably have Ian Dark on there.
I
He
doubt
does,
it.
the
I
he
doubt
does
it.
he does the football for BT Sport.
No, I doubt it. I think they'll keep the regular commentary team.
John
Cam,
Wall-
just for future reference, what is that guy's name that did the No More Party David?
I do.
Dempsey. I don't know his first name, but his surname
Paul
Dempsey.
Dempsey, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fucking
Dempsey.
legend.
Oh, what a legend.
Yo, listen though, I actually don't know who's gonna win this fight, but fucking come on, Liam Williams, man. Please, just give Gallagher another L. Fuck Team Smith. Hey, yo, do you not see how Fish Eyes was looking at Joe today?
Yeah, he's fuming, isn't he?
Hey, yo, he was giving him the eyes like, yo,
He called
somebody's
in all
not
those
getting
brown
pissed.
envelopes. He called in all the brown envelopes to the WBO for an absolute nothing.
Yeah, don't worry, he's gonna get that money back. Someone ain't getting paid tomorrow.
Yo, is it me or is Warren making a bit of a comeback these days, man? He's doing quite well. I mean, he really had a period where he wasn't doing jack shit in terms of putting on good fights, but...
And he's got Josh Warrington's first fight with him coming up in a little bit as well. That could be a nice little money earner.
You know, Frank is like a cat. He's got 9 lives. Like, you can't kill Frank. Like,
Yeah.
He's like Rupert Murdoch.
People have actually tried as well.
It's true.
Oh, what a gangster, though.
But he's got the fine people of Raynham Steel. Got his back.
But yo, real quick still about Smith. Cam, I've always said, and I put this on Twitter once, you know, the Gallagher boys, except for the legend Scotty Cardle, obviously, they all fight like pressure fighters, but without applying pressure. You know, I think that's the perfect way to sum it up, you know, like, that's why I said, you know, they need to watch some fucking Margarito tapes, because if you just come forward and take punishment, you know, you're not putting any pressure on your opponent. You know, you're just taking damage. That's why when it comes to the later rounds, often they don't have anything left because you've just taken such a beating.
And none of
The
them,
Homer Simpson strategy.
none of them apart from Quigg have any punching power, really. I know Croller's somehow mysteriously developed. He's turned into a massive puncher since his injury, but none of them have actually got the power to be effective pressure fighters. Obviously, you don't need power to be a pressure fighter, but it does help.
I agree. You need to be able to hurt your opponent a little bit,
Yeah.
especially when you go to the
That
body.
whole camp, they are like the definition of Eurobums. Like, they fight like Eurobums. Literally. High guards, low output, no counter punching, no head movement, just Eurobum boxing.
So what's going to be amazing is when Paul Smith gets his next fight will be a world title fight out in Germany.
Let's pray to God that doesn't happen.
Who is actually, like, I actually genuinely don't know who is the best Smith brother. Like, who would you say is the best? Like,
Well, it's Callum. It's probably Callum, but we don't know how good Callum
yeah, but
is.
we know nothing about Callum. Callum ain't fought nobody.
I think the Rocky Fielding was half decent when. This is-
Rocky
it's
from
the best
Stucky is
Gallagher-
fringe
it's-
world level, isn't it?
It's the best win of any Gallagher fighter.
I don't know. Rocky Fielding lost to Rabrase.
Dude, Rabrasa is a fucking beast, dude.
Law, the operator.
He's got an engine on him, doesn't he, Jim?
World class. He's world class.
All right, let me
Yeah,
jump
he is
in.
world class.
Nailton, I know Smith and Williams is like a
Rabrasa.
British domestic fight, but have you seen either guy? Well, you've probably seen Smith before, but have you seen Williams, Nailton?
Yeah, no, I've watched a little bit of Williams, like, just kind of to familiarize myself with who he is and what kind of style he brings. And I mean, I could see why a lot of people think that this is like really a evenly matched fight, considering the fact that Williams hasn't quite stepped up to that higher level, whereas Smith has and failed. Considering the whole weight issue, Smith doesn't look like somebody that necessarily should be struggling to make the weight. It seems that like Joe might be onto something with just he kind of bottled it. He fucked up. He just was a lazy ass, and he
doesn't. He doesn't
give a
want
damn.
to fight. He can't be asked. Why does he want to fight a guy that's been only fighting domestic level?
Yeah, well, and even just the way he fights is very passive too. The way Williams fights, at the very least, is like there's something kind of concrete to it throughout the entire way of the fight. So, kind of pending how Williams deals with that late pressure once Smith actually wakes up, if he's able to wake up before he gets potentially knocked out or something. Once he's able to wake up in like the 6th or the 7th round and actually starts fighting. We'll really see what Williams has got, but I like just pending all that, I would actually slightly favor Williams just because I think he's the one on the rise. I think his style has a little bit more variability to it, and I think that he'll probably dig Smith into a nice deep hole that is going to be really difficult for him to dig out of in terms of points.
Okay, should we move on just to the rest of the undercard?
Cam, I love saying Rabrase. It's such a great thing to say.
I think you should.
But yeah, let's move on.
I think you should have that on your answering machine.
Almost as good as Turbo Terry. Turbo.
All right, Kimo, Turbo Terry, and the unbeatables, Petr Petrov. What do you think?
So here's the story about Turbo Terry, right? When he beat Magdaleno, it was Magdaleno, right? Jesse Magdaleno?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he beat Jesse Magdaleno, Diego Magdaleno. When he beat him, we all got fucking pumped about this guy, right? I mean, I was. Holy shit, Hamada just posted that Curtis Woodhouse photo and I got distracted.
Who is that? Is that Billy Joe?
That's Curtis Woodhouse, man.
No way.
Oh, man, I lost my train of thought.
What's happened to you, mate?
Let me regroup here for a second. Anyway, so when he beat Magdaleno, I was pretty excited. I saw boxing ability, I saw power, I saw the ability to punch in combination. He just looked like a really legit guy. And then all the fights afterwards, they've just been a total buzzkill. And I know, Cam, we've talked about this. Like, he just fights in a really fucking dirty way, and he just turns every fight into a dirty, stinky mess. It's not very entertaining to watch, and it doesn't leave a lot of, feeling of that this guy's going to be the future of British boxing. He hasn't had a big fight yet. This is probably the biggest fight since then against a legit opponent. I mean, Petrov is I think, legit world level guy. He hasn't really broken through to the A, B plus type of range, but he is definitely, a world level guy. I was watching the fight today against that Puerto Rican kid. I forgot what his name was. And he had a good performance. He went to the body really well, threw in combinations.
Orlando Cruz?
You talk about Petrov's fight, Marvin Quintero.
No, man, what the fuck? He's American with Puerto Rican descent.
Wait, are you talking about that Flanagan fought or that Petrov fought?
Yeah, Petrov fought.
So you're talking about Quintero then?
Hold on, man. I'll look up the name in a second when you guys are talking. But, yeah.
Or Michael Perez?
I'll look it up in a second there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, it was on Ring TV, man. It was on Ring TV Live with the Kimster boys and everybody a few months ago.
Yeah, it was Quintero. It was last year. It was the night before Canelo versus Khan because they had it just outside the T-Mobile Arena. Yeah, and he's a southpaw as well. But I watched that fight as well, Kimo, and it showed that Petros did struggle a bit with the southpaw stance.
It was Michael Perez, by the way.
My bad.
Michael Perez, yeah, that was the guy he fought. That was his last fight, I think. Yeah, that was his Petrov's last fight when he basically stopped him after 6 rounds, which was a good little scrap, and Petrov looked really good. I'm not quite sure where to gauge Flanagan at the moment.
I really don't know. He had a couple of really disappointing performances. When he fought Dirty Derry, he looked like crap, in my opinion. So I don't really know who to pick, to be honest. I mean, I just hope we get a decent fight because Petrov is an action fighter, and I hope Flanagan will not just tie him up all night and start fucking headbutting him and elbowing him and doing all that dirty shit, because I'm really not in the mood for that. I want to see a good fight. You know, he's headlining a good card, so I really hope he doesn't stink out the joint, man. I mean, can you guys make a pick on this one easily?
Yeah, I'm picking Turbo, but I do agree with a lot of what you said. In that Magdaleno fight, he kind of had a killer instinct. He hurt Magdaleno, then kind of jumped on him. And since then, as you said, the Matthews fight, I think he showed Derry too much respect. He didn't go for he didn't go after him. He was kind of happy to sit on the outside, you know, jumping in combinations. But that was a very dirty fight. A lot of forearms, a lot of stiff arming. The Fana fight, I don't know. That was scheduled, I think, a week before or 2 weeks before, and I think maybe trying to make the weight and then going off and then trying to make the weight again, you know, it kind of fucked him up a bit because he looked very flat in that performance. And against Cruz, it's hard to look good against a guy who's just so negative, who's just on the back foot and not throwing in punches. Orlando Cruz was a bitch in that fight. He barely did anything. Yeah.
No disrespect.
No disrespect, but he's a bitch. And Petrov, I think... I was saying to you before, I watched his second to last fight against Quintero, who's a fellow southpaw like Flanagan, and he did struggle. Like Quintero's eye did blow up, I think, in the first or second round, and he was struggling against the guy with basically one eye until I think either the doctor or his corner stopped the fight. And he's quite open to left hands from the body, and Terry does throw straight left to the body sometimes. And Terry is very, very on his toes. He's in and out. He kind of jumps in. I just hope he just kind of stops that stiff arming and using that forearm and pushing down. Because he did it against a lot in the Stephen Ormond fight, and he was lucky he didn't really... he almost came put close to getting disqualified because it was getting a bit out of hand, that fight. But I think Turbo... he might be able to stop... Petrov, because when I watched Petrov in a few other fights, he does get stunned a bit if he gets hit clean, and you know Maidana stopped him. The first knockdown against Maidana was a bit of a slip, but the other two were legit. One was just a beautiful right hand, and the other one was a left hook to the body. And I think Turbo's got the power, so I'm picking Turbo by maybe possible late stoppage, but most likely on points. Leota, Hamada, you guys got any thoughts?
I mean, I think this is a fairly even fight, to be honest with you. I think it's actually a lot harder to look at good against Quintero than you guys might be giving credit for. Quintero was actually a really good fighter a couple years back. Not as much now. He had a lot of injuries and such, but nobody had really stopped him conclusively the way that Petrov did, other than a guy named Rostam Nugaev, who was a really good lightweight contender a couple of years back, who wound up kind of floundering at the very top level.
See, I disagree. Petrov didn't really stop him. That was a corner stoppage, and even though he was one-eyed, he was still kind of giving Petrov issues because his eye did blow up, his left eye.
He was. But the thing is, with Flanagan is kind of what I was saying earlier, the whole on top fighter thing. I think he's going to struggle a little bit with the pressure that Petrov brings. I think what's going to save Flanagan largely is just the fact that he'll have a leverage advantage in terms of the fact that he's taller, and I think he's just as physically stronger, if not a little bit stronger, than Petrov in terms of like when they get into clinches and such. And Petrov doesn't necessarily have the type of pressure style where it's like the pressure is really sudden. It's almost like he's kind of slowly pressuring you on his way to getting on the inside and hitting you, and I think that's going to leave enough opening for Flanagan to kind of beat him to the punch. And if he wants to clinch him, he might do that. Or if he wants to, just kind of try and stick and move, he could potentially do that as well. And I think his boxing skills, although I consider them not necessarily like at the very highest level, I think they're good enough that he can do that and get away with even doing fairly basic stuff against somebody like Petrov and dig enough of a hole in terms of rounds one that Petrov won't really be able to catch up unless he's able to drop him, hurt him really badly late. I'm not sure if Petrov necessarily has that. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put it completely past Petrov in order to be able to make an impression on him. But I mean, just all that said, though, I favor Flanagan in a fairly close but a clear decision win over Petrov.
Hamada, you got any thoughts, or you're not really bothered?
Nah, man, I like Turbo Terry. I think Turbo Terry's one of the best fighters in the UK at the moment, to be honest. And he's gonna win definitely.
Are you trolling?
But I'm actually being serious. I like Flanagan. I think he's one of the best fighters in Britain right now.
Okay.
I do. I think he's top 5. Would you agree?
I like him, but I don't know. He needs to show me a bit more.
Like, he's 10 times better than Crawler. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's better than Crawler.
Wait, but Crawler has a better resume, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, who's Flanagan really fought yet so far?
How he beat Magdaleno, man.
No, I know you're trolling.
And there's a fader.
Well, because he hurt his arm.
Yeah, Zapata fucking dislocated his damn shoulder, yo.
Nah, man, he beat him anyways. Who broke his shoulder?
Man, Flanagan hit him so hard his fucking shoulder just ripped right out of place.
But yeah, fucking forget their resumes. I think he's just better. Like, Crawler don't want that fight. He knew Terry Flanagan was going to give him that work, but I think he's going to beat Petrov. I like Petrov though. He made a living on ESPN Friday Night Fights. That was his home. I remember watching
that Boxino belt.
Yeah, he won the Boxino tournament.
The Boxino card.
He made a living off that, and it's good to see he's getting a shot at a world title. But he's going to go home empty-handed, wherever he comes from. And yeah, Flanagan on to the next, man. I don't know, man. Just think Flanagan will do the business.
Hamada, don't forget he got stopped by Maidarna as well, huh?
Maidarna. Oh, that card bingo is quality.
It's quality.
Just explain what you mean, though, Hamada, for the people that have not seen it on Twitter.
You gotta have Twitter, mate, to see it. It's like a big
bingo card.
How we had the Jim Watt bingo of just his favorite quotes, his favorite words, and just I need to pull it up and see some of the stuff. Khan's favorite lines. The big names.
Virgil. Virgil.
The best of your Khan.
The man in the black hat.
The man in the black hat. That's classic. The
Mayweather fight can still happen.
Yeah.
Mayweather.
Still there for me.
Yeah. Yo, he's talking all about MMA now, man. He's got to enter MMA, man. He's got the speed and the power.
So you and Lim might talk about him on the next time you guys decide to do Mystic Men.
He's not going to do shit, man.
All right.
Khan's a legend, though, man. He's helping the world a lot. I appreciate that.
Just quickly on the undercard,
he's a superstar.
He's a superstar. Jack Catterall's fighting Martin Gethin, who's basically shot. And I think if Catterall hits him on the ear, he'll probably quit because he's had ear issues in fights previously. So it's a bit of a shit matchup, to be honest.
He beat John Wayne Hibbert.
Yeah, I know, but Hibbert was not that good with himself, really, was he, to be honest?
Nah,
he did do a job over Hibbert and put him into retirement. But Gethin has declined a lot recently. What else is on there? Nicola Adams' debut against Virginia Naomi Carcamo. Did you guys know that she's trained by Virgil? Virgil?
Really? Virgil Hunt?
Yeah.
That must have just barely started.
Because I've seen some pictures. She said, I'm here with my trainer. And like, big-ass Virgil Hunter was towering over her in the photo.
Virgil. It's another Khan bingo, by the way.
Yep. I think I've...
My advisor, Heyman.
Who else? The heavyweight. A lot of people are talking about him. Daniel Dubois. He's his debut as well against Marcus Kelly.
Have you seen his opponent, Cam?
Yeah, he looks terrible, man.
Terrible.
He looks like a homeless person. He actually looks like a homeless person.
Wearing a t-shirt, like he's not even topless at the weigh-in. I mean, it's a disgrace.
Yeah. Paul Butler's on there in his sixth round.
Disgrace.
Unnecessary, just in the sixth round, and unfortunately the Tete fight has been moved. He was fighting Villanova, and that's moved to the April 22nd, so that's unfortunate, but still a pretty...
I was shattered.
Yeah, that was your fight of the night, really, almost, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was.
But yeah, this BT Sport coverage starts at 7:30. Box Nation go live a bit earlier than that with some of the undercard fights, and I might be wrong, but might be one of the first cards broadcasting Ultra HD in 4K, because BT Sport do have a 4K channel, but I'm not sure if it's just upstream to 4K or if it is actually full UHD 4K, so that'd be pretty decent. I haven't got a 4K TV, unfortunately. I just got a 1080p, but in the future, if I upgrade, it'd be nice to see some 4K boxing. That's really me done, guys, unless you guys have got anything else you want to talk about.
Mate, it's Ultra HD. That's fucking historic, man.
Yeah,
BT are doing...
your downloads are going to be like fucking 50 gig just for one fight.
That's nice though. But when you say the main card starts on BT, who's fighting on BT? Is so the undercards on Box Nation, then it switches to BT, or what? Which fights start on BT?
I'm not seeing a rundown, to be honest. I guess like the Catrol fight will probably be on Box Nation, and BT Sport will probably be I guess Adams' debut, Dubois' debut. Obviously Smiths and Williams will be on there. Flanagan will probably be on there. I think they'll probably just have like a four fight card just for the BT, and then the Box Nation will do the undercard before that. That's what's most likely going to happen. But I'm not seeing any press actually listing which fights are taking place when.
Cam, this is in Manchester, right?
Manchester.
Why are you not going, man?
I was trying to get hold of some tickets, but yeah, it's not looking good at the moment.
Must be cheap as fuck, or is it sold out?
Jim Boone told me the sales have been poor, Cam.
They have been. I didn't want to overpay for some, but I know a guy that knows someone that works at the arena that can get the hookup, but it doesn't look good at the moment.
I think you need to speak to Jim Boone.
I'll phone him straight after the show.
I agree. Yo, but how much is like a lower ball seat for this type of fight?
I was looking I don't really like to buy shitty seats, so if it was a seat that I was going to buy, I was looking probably about £80 each, but no one really wanted to go, so I'd have to buy one for me and then take my wife, so basically I'm buying 2 tickets, and I'm thinking, is it really worth it? No.
I would definitely, I would go myself, man. Fuck, that's a good fight.
That's because you're a fucking loser, bro.
Oh, the man has come back. Did you do some hard work?
It's hard being a boss, bro. It's hard being a Don. But
Don's taking a cigarette break again.
Yeah, no, I was just laughing because of Cam. I love it when Cam talks about his personal life on the show. You know, like we see remnants of his personal life, and this just such a typical Cam thing to say, man. You know, I would go. I don't like to sit in city sheets, but nobody, wanted to go to the fight with me, so I'd have to go to the fight with my wife. I just thought it was a good time to chime in. Oh, but Cam, by the way, your wife might be a decent option now that she's more of a boxing fan. She does a wicked Crawler, chant impersonation.
She's only a Crawler fan.
Anyways, but what fight are you talking about?
We're talking about the Manchester guys.
Turbo Terry, bro.
Oh, Turbo Terry?
Bro.
I still don't know what Turbo Terry looks like, actually. Let me look him up right now.
He's fighting Peter Petrov.
Oh, I know Petrov.
Like a real scruffy Manchester lad.
Yeah, I know you know Petrov.
He whooped Mike Perez, right, in the last fight, or the one before?
Yeah, it was the last fight. Yeah. He destroyed him.
Mm-hmm. And Perez is actually a decent level contender. So that's.
He used to train at the wild card, isn't it?
Who? Perez?
Yeah.
Now Perez trained in New Jersey, and then he trains over at Robert Garcia's gym in Riverside.
So that's a different Perez, sorry.
Yeah, no
Petrov
worries,
trains
bro.
Victor Conte, so you know how
What's
that
that?
goes.
Oh,
That's
I
Nick.
do know how that goes. Yeah, Peter. Wow, Flanagan looks like a bum. Just the way he looks.
You can't
Like
judge a book by its cover,
Turbo?
Daniel.
Trust me, he looks like a proper scruffy Manchester lad.
Have you guys noticed
looks
as well?
like-
Like when he talks, he sounds punch drunk.
Yeah, nah, he's got like Cam. What's up with his accent, man? Do people really talk like that from Manchester? Because you don't.
Some do, but he's proper like hardcore. He's like proper
Hey Cam, what do you guys call hillbillies in the UK?
scallies.
They don't
I
have
guess.
them over there.
Scallies.
Chav.
Scout.
Chav scallies.
He looks. Is it fair to say that he looks like a chav,
Yeah, definitely.
or comes off as a chav? Okay. He just looks like he was born like bred in the fucking outskirts of Nebraska or some bullshit.
So if he like bumped into you and he didn't say sorry, he'd be like, "You're a fucking chub, mate."
I
He would
just
wear like a
tell-
tracksuit going out.
Oh, that was terrible. Nah.
But yo,
Yeah.
Cam, I must say,
I'm not as good
Flanagan
with
is
the-
like
with the British
top
accents,
three,
man.
top three hardest guys to understand in British boxing, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Who's
he
number
is
one?
real- I don't know, man.
MB2?
Rocky from Stocky is pretty fucking bad as well. That guy's accent is hardcore. I need to focus if I am watching an interview of him.
You need
And
subtitles.
Scotty Carter as
Man.
well.
Jeez, dude, the pic that you guys posted, I thought that was Canadian Jose.
Yo, that's Curtis Woodhouse, man.
Same shit. Why does he have all those marks all over his body? Oh no, that's just my screen.
It's his mirror. It's his mirror. His mirror's
Oh, I thought it was just a bunch of moles that he had. Jesus.
Damn.
there. No, Lim, he fights at 135, 40, and in that picture he's 230 pounds.
He's still fighting?
He's trying to come back.
No,
He's
geez.
trying
That's a
to
long
keep his weight
comeback.
down now. He's trying to make a comeback.
He's probably got to try to come back so that he doesn't get fucking heart disease.
Don't
being
call
that
it a
fucking
comeback.
heavy.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question? The guy that Usyk is fighting, is he a light heavyweight or is he a cruiserweight usually?
No, he's usually a cruiserweight. He was a heavyweight / super heavy in the amateurs.
Yeah. I've seen him at the Mayweather gym. He's pretty good, man. He's talented.
Yeah, that's
He
what I
beat-
was telling these guys.
He beat Isaiah Thomas, the Boston Celtics point guard.
Are you serious?
You mean Detroit Pistons?
Nah, bro. Celtics all the way.
Nah, the Celtics one is the son. That's Thomas Jr. But
Legend
Isaiah
of the
Thomas,
Pistons, right?
What are you
Yeah,
talking
the
about, bro?
the legend is the favorite.
Hashtag
Stop
Dub Nation.
trolling. They're not related, man.
No, but the Isaiah Thomas that he beat down wasn't related to the NBA All-Star.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he better not be. That's a disgrace to his legacy. But, anyways, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I think that card is I don't think it's a good card. It's just a fucking showcase fight. It's a bunch of like nationalistic bullshit for Ukrainians, you know. I mean, sure, it's cool. I'd go to it. I might go to it regardless. I'm not trying to put down, you know, obviously people from the Ukraine. Like, if I was Ukrainian, I'd be like, yeah, this is an awesome day. But in terms of the fights themselves, they're just all showcases. So, fuck it.
Uneski
But-
Gonzalez against Gvozdyk is not a showcase, bro.
Oh,
It kind of
Gvozdyk
is.
fighting-
It kind of
no,
is
I don't
because
think so. No, because the thing, no. I actually don't think it is, Minata, because you brought up a good point in terms of how inconsistent Gvozdyk was in between those two fights when he fought. Who did he fight? I forget. I know that.
Chilemba
Chilemba, exactly. What he did to Chilemba and then how he looked against Karpensky, I think it'll be a good fight because I think Unieski is a pretty damn good fighter, actually. I thought he beat Jean Pascal handedly. So it should be a good fight, man. Be a good scrap.
Gvozdyk has 12 fights, man.
I
He's
know.
fighting Uneski Gonzalez. I mean, it's a good.
I know.
It's a real good fight, really.
Well, I didn't know, motherfucker, okay? I'm sorry, excluding that
Sorry.
one. That's a good fight.
Jeez.
That's a good fight. It is a good fight.
Jesus Christ.
One thing that I really do like about Klimos, the guy that manages all those guys, is he's doing a really good job in terms of really making these guys fight good opposition early on in their careers. You know, that's something that you can't say for everyone else. So you got to give him props for that.
Nato won't agree with that.
I mean, I'd agree somewhat. Because I mean, if you're comparing these guys to the broad spectrum of what we see a lot of in boxing, where you fight 15 to 20 to 30 tomato cans, and then finally you fight somebody that's on your level. I mean, in comparison, it's actually pretty nicely done for
What
the
about
fans.
what about Bivol, Cam? When's Bivol fighting?
Your homie's fighting pretty soon.
Yeah. Nice.
Yo, have any of you guys ever watched Shooter?
What, Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What movie?
Have any of you guys watched that?
What movie?
Shooter.
Yeah, what about it?
Shooter.
What about Shooter?
Nah, don't worry, forget it. It doesn't matter if you ever watched it.
It's a terrible movie. Why would you bring it up? I don't understand the comparison to anything in the box.
Okay. Forget it. It's
No, I need to know now.
Don't worry about it.
What, I need to know now. You can't just leave us on a cliffhanger like that, Hamada.
because obviously the Ukrainian card, innit? Like, you know, hopefully the Ukrainian president doesn't come over.
And get murked.
That is such a terrible inference. Or reference, excuse me. Like, oh, jeez, Hamada, what? Just because the film is titled Shooter, you decided to bring it up because, oh Lord.
Ukraine's taking over America for the weekend, man.
Yo, Dan, you got any news for us you want to discuss?
I have something.
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
Go on.
Cam,
Yeah.
what about the rumors of DeGale against Groves Part 2? You think it's going to happen?
Everything's gone quiet with DeGale's matchup with Chudinov, so I mean Groves' matchup with Chudinov, so possibly maybe they're having negotiations. I know Sauerland's worked well with Eddie Hearn. They have a good working relationship, so and it is a big fight which they could sell and it would do well on pay-per-view, so
I would love it, man. I mean, Chudinov took another fight, didn't he? I think he's got somebody else lined up.
yeah, there was a British boxer that put a tweet out that he was fighting him. So I'm not sure though. Is Boxrec listing him? I'm gonna have a look now, because no, Boxrec I'm not listed that fight yet. So maybe that guy jumped the gun a bit and didn't really get the fight fully signed before he announced it.
Yeah, Boxrec doesn't have another fight for him lined up, so I don't know. It's a bit weird, but I do hope so, man.
Can I ask you a question though, Kimo? If that fight
What's
does
up?
get signed, DeGale Groves 2, is that rotten T-shirt gonna be removed from the bottom of your closet, washed and then ironed, and will you wear it proudly?
I will. That's going to be the one last run, like one more time will I put all my chips all in for fucking Groves, man. Because that will be redemption, and that will kill everything. That will beat fucking everything. If he beats DeGale for the titles, that would be fucking epic. But I don't know. To be honest, before a couple of fights ago, I would say DeGale stops him. But if they would fight again, I'm not too sure about that, man. DeGale has taken a lot of punishment lately.
Yeah.
And Jack fucked him up. He fucked him up good. I mean, he gave him so much brain damage. He was like talking mad shit after the fight. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's I think the fights actually come closer level wise. What was that?
He had the girl looking like a crackhead.
Exactly. So yeah, man, it's I don't know. Well, let's see. I hope it happens. And I read somewhere that Selby's got another fight lined up as well.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
with that same guy, man, that fucking failed the physical. I don't know why they're doing this. Like, fucking move on, man. The guy is not fit to fight. Like, why are you gonna fight him?
What's his name? Barros?
I don't know. I think it's Barros, yeah.
This fucking old dude that I guess I don't even know why that's a mandatory, but
You gotta take
I
a
know.
mandatory, isn't it, Kimo? I mean,
IBF for you,
Can
though.
you do-
Yeah. It's all about
you
the
gotta do
mandatory.
submission. Unless
Yeah,
it's Errol
he-
Spence, and you can dilly-dally around that for a bit.
He should have lost that mandatory as soon as he felt the damn physical.
Exactly, that's what I said. But yo, Cam, can me and Kimo quickly talk about like a couple of fights that took place before, like, because we ain't been on for a while. Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Go on.
So first, we gotta talk about Triple Gift.
Triple gift. Well,
It's so, Triple Gift is the perfect nickname. Shall I tell you why? Because you got 3 gifts from the 3 judges. They gave him
it
a
is
gift
pretty
each.
applicable. Yeah.
I
I watched
I actually had Golovkin winning, so I don't know, it doesn't make no sense. But I was there, but I had him winning 140, 130, but
Because they're trying to be cheeky.
he took an L, man. Golovkin took an L, man. Like, he should have beat Jacobs, man. Like, better. He should have knocked him out. He's much better. He's a much better fighter than Jacobs. Jacobs didn't even do anything that was spectacular. He didn't do anything great, really. He just done what he normally does, and it seemed to work. The stars seemed to align for Jacobs. It was like a career night for him. Like, like his chin held up, even though a couple of times he got dropped and he got rocked a couple of times, but he managed to pull through, and he done some good work himself, man. But I just think Golovkin should have done better. I think I was disappointed with him. There was no body punching. His jab was on point, but he was cutting off the ring as well, but he just would hesitate to throw for some weird reason. I think he was worried about what Jacobs had for some weird reason, and was kind of hesitant to let his hands go, but it was disappointing from Golovkin, to be honest. But I think they need to have a rematch, because this is unfinished business, pretty much, because this a lot of people, I've actually heard more people that had Jacobs winning than Golovkin winning. So he's got to go back and run it back, man. Like, there has to be a rematch for me.
This was Kovalev Ward all over again.
Hamada, I agree with the last part, absolutely. I had Jacobs winning. I had Jacobs by a point, and I watched it twice. And I actually had it. I scored it differently the second time, but I still got the same end score, 114-113. But I don't agree with you about saying, like, oh, Jacobs was just his usual self. He didn't do anything different. I thought he boxed really well. And yes, I think I agree with the fact that Golovkin's output was very low. He seemed to respect Jacobs a lot. I think maybe a bit too much. And he was never really hurt at any point in the fight, and it never really looked like, like he took a humongous shot to the face that was really gonna worry his corner. He got hit harder versus Curtis Stevens. Stevens fucking threw some leather at him, and he walked straight through it. And Jacobs, when he landed, it would be a bit slappy. Like he would never really
Plant his feet.
Torque those punches, turn them right into it. And he always tends to do that. He did that against Quillen as well. Like when he gets a guy hurt, he just goes a bit wild and throws in a very wild way. His technique's a little bit off, but I thought he boxed really well. And the fact that Golovkin was just not throwing a lot, he was just jabbing the whole fight basically. He wasn't going to the body. And then if Jacobs puts a couple of combinations together in one round, I mean. And those hit him flush quite a few times, Even though they were slapping punches, they hit him straight on the chin. I mean, I got a score for Jacobs then. But yeah, both guys' output was in general quite low, so it was a close fight regardless. I see it as unfinished business as well. Or maybe you know what? Maybe Jacobs was just a lot better than we thought. I think I personally definitely underestimated him. I didn't think he would be able to box like this. He was quite crafty as well, the way he was slipping punches, and he was not easy to hit. So, I mean, I shat on Jacobs for a long fucking time. Long-ass time, and you know, I gotta eat a little bit of crow for that, man. He did a really good job. He recovered well from a knockdown as well. His chin was a lot better than we thought. But yeah, overall, I thought it was also Golovkin's fight to lose. You know, he just.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Cam were fucking frustrated. I remember that, Cam. We were like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why is he not throwing? He's got him against the ropes. Why is he not throwing? Why is he not go to the body? It was a very, like, flat kind of performance. I can't quite gauge what was going on with it. Because a lot of people have a lot of different... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, in them last 2-3 rounds, Jacobs was done. Like, he was spent. Like, he gasped badly. His mouth was wide open. And Golovkin just couldn't find that gear just to step it up and take it to him. And
Golovkin was tired,
like,
too.
I
Yeah,
don't think he was spent, Hamada, because I scored the last round for Jacobs, by the way. I heard a lot of people say, like, oh, the last fight was Golovkin's easily. I mean, Jacobs was throwing punches, man. I don't know what
that
people were
last
saying.
round was a messy round. They were throwing a lot, but they were both missing. Like, they both seemed really tired. But Jacobs, if you saw at the end of the fight, he literally collapsed. Like, he just dropped to the ground. Like, that's how dead he was. He was literally, like, he was gone in them last couple rounds. But Golovkin he couldn't step on it. He couldn't get to that extra gear. And that's one thing I always thought Golovkin had. I always used to say, yeah, when he fights the better opposition, he'll get up and he'll find that next level. But he just couldn't find it this time round. I don't know. It was disappointing, to be honest. I was disappointed in Golovkin, but I still think Golovkin's the better fighter. But I just think everything just worked out for Jacobs. Just everything. He just had the best night of his career. Do you know what I mean?
He did have absolutely the best night of his career. One thing I noticed as well, just visually in the ring, I thought Jacobs looked massive. And I don't mean that, as some other people do, as an excuse or talk about the rehydration limit or whatever. Just them next to each other, I never really noticed how big Jacobs is. Maybe because the guys he was fighting were quite, like tall and rangy, like Quillen, or if he stands next to Mora, he doesn't look that big because he's quite tall as well. But I thought his frame overall on the night, just looking at them next to each other in the ring, he's a big guy, man. He doesn't have that much muscle. Well, I'm not even talking about weight. I'm not even talking about weight, because that just ends up in a fucking shit show. But
I'm trolling.
Just visually, he looked quite big, man. And I think that it might have intimidated Golovkin a little bit as well, in the sense that he was aware of his power, and he didn't want to get clipped with something that would change the momentum of the fight. So
it's not just the power, but the hand speed as well.
Kovalev in sparring, though. He spars with cruiserweights and heavyweights, though.
And they wear body
knocking
armor.
out cruiserweights and sparring.
They wear body armor, though.
So now we know those stories are all false.
Well,
you never know. I mean, there's probably a few not that good cruiserweights out there that he probably whooped on.
Unless he's sparring bums, like he's probably sparring some bums then.
Yeah, well, it's I doubt that he's sparring like freaking Briedis every weekend, and he's like just crushing the guy and folding him in half or whatever.
But no, I'm just saying.
But
like, I don't know why they're hesitant to move up to 68.
I think Hamada, you're not giving enough credit to what Jacobs did, though. I thought he did a really good job. I thought that he really turned himself up a level, and he kind of showed himself to finally live up to the promise that he showed all those years ago, back when he was being showcased as a prospect, back on HBO and everything, up until the Petrov loss. And, he showed that he had a lot of that skill inborn within him all this time. It just took a certain level of opponent and a certain amount of time for him to truly be able to harness that and bring it out. And I thought he did a fantastic job of bringing it out. As for Golovkin, I think a big part of the reason why he was hesitating and not necessarily turning it up to that next level, so to speak, was because Jacobs was hitting him. And, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, and he wasn't just punching him in the face, he was punching him to the body quite a bit. And I thought that Jacobs' body work especially took a lot of the starch off of Golovkin's punches. I think in those later rounds, Jacobs realized that Golovkin wasn't really able to hurt him because he could see the punches coming. The punches were coming slower, and they weren't coming as heavy or as well leveraged as they had been earlier in the fight. So he was a little bit freer with his hands. That being said, he didn't necessarily have the same level of pop in those later rounds as he had in the early rounds too. So it was, it was kind of a decreasing means for both fighters involved. But I thought Jacobs did a fantastic job, and all the people that are acting like, well, if Jacobs could do it, this guy could do it, and that guy could do it. I think what Jacobs did in particular is very unique to what Jacobs is capable of, because he's capable of hitting a guy and knocking them clean out with their head bouncing off the fucking canvas. He's also capable of boxing at range. He's also capable of switching stances and showing you a completely different look with different angles. And, those are techniques that not every boxer can do. And, there's a lot of weight classes that have boxers that aren't able to do that whatsoever. It just so happened that, he happens to be one of them. And that was something that was extremely difficult for Golovkin. As for another possibility as to why Golovkin might have looked flat, I've said it recently, the last year or so, and I think even Abel Sanchez hinted at it, that they want Golovkin to fight Billy Joe Saunders, unify that last belt, and then move up to super middleweight. I think he keeps himself artificially low in weight. I think his body wants to be a super middleweight, and he basically starves the muscle off of himself pretty much year-round for the most part in order to make himself able to make weight for longer than he probably should be. Similar to the way that Hopkins did all that time, and then all of a sudden against Jermaine Taylor, what happened? It seemed like he wasn't able to take it up to the next level, and then all of a sudden he becomes a light heavyweight and he's able to take it to that next level and beyond against Tarver, against Pavlik, etc. So I could see that being a potential issue for him as well.
All right,
and I think a move up for him and for Jacobs actually might be good for both of them.
Hamada, Kimo, any other fights? I know we had Thurman Garcia, and we had Haye Bellew, and then we also had Lemieux Stevens in between the last Kimo special.
We have to talk about Haye Bellew, man.
Go ahead.
I mean, what an upset. I mean, against all odds, Tony Bellew. Fuck that, man. Like, fuck the injury. I don't care. Tony Bellew, like, no one gave him a prayer. We all thought he was going to get knocked out with the first punch he lands. And to be fair, in the first 3-4 rounds, he actually took some good shots from Haye. And, like, Haye was awful, though. Like, now we know why Haye was fighting them bums. Because Haye weren't ready. Haye was awful. He was so wild in there, man. Like, he was missing Bellew at times by miles. And isn't me or Haye seemed a lot slower? He did, didn't it? Like, he's not as fast as he used to be. He was a lot faster.
He's aged a lot, obviously. I mean, that has to be a factor. But he was literally throwing from the hip, like he was just swinging like a fucking wild man. And I don't know why that is. Maybe he thought that Bellew just didn't stand a chance and he could knock him out like that. Or maybe he felt a sense of urgency because he knew about, his pre-existing injury. I don't know, man. These are all conspiracy theories.
He was injured.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Hamada, at the end of the day, I think, the stars might have aligned for him in this fight, and maybe it even did in the last fight and the fight before that. But even though Bellew is fucking annoying, like what he's been able to accomplish, you gotta admire that. Yeah, I mean, me too, man. I mean, the guy was an absolute fucking nobody. He became a joke when Stevenson knocked him out, and it was we all just laughed at him.
Everyone was shitting on him.
And the fact that he moved up the cruiser, he looked like shit, and then he had that crappy pay-per-view, and we all thought, oh, this fucking guy. And for some reason, all of this just happened after he did that movie, which is weird. But it's he fucking did it, man. I mean, he fucking did it, and now, now the world is his because he can basically make any big fight that he wants at heavyweight or cruiserweight. I mean, Hearn will sell anything with him now. I mean, they could do fucking Bellew Joshua and it would fucking sell. It's ridiculous, but they could do that. So
he's the man.
He's in a good position. That's all I can say.
Like, I don't care what anyone says. Bellew just deserves credit for being able to take some of Haye's best shots. Like, because we even doubted that he could even take a single punch from Haye. Like, we doubted his punch resistance. And he managed to take what Haye had. He actually boxed not quite well, but Haye was poor. So, like, he was doing his fair bit. He made Haye look bad at times. And when Haye got injured, he put it on him. I mean, all right, cool. It did take him about 5 rounds to get rid of an injured guy, which isn't really a great look. But Haye was fit enough to fight. Like, Haye's pulled out of fights before with injuries, but he didn't pull out of this one. So he clearly felt he was fit enough to fight, and he injured himself in the fight. Well, that's not Bellew's fault, is it? Bellew has to fight the guy that's put in front of him, and that's all he did.
No,
he won the fight, and he done it. He done the business, man. Like, I'm honestly, like, we all know Bellew's an unlikable character. I mean, the way he behaves and he carries himself, but we can't do nothing but show him respect, man. He's not just done it once; he's done it twice. A lot of people writ him off in the Makabu fight too. Like, a lot of people, everyone thought Makabu would ice him, and he got up off the canvas as well to beat Makabu. He got dropped, and he came back, and he literally, like, knocked him out in front of everyone at Goodison Park. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, he's the man, like, right now. Like, I just have respect for Bellew, man. This is what we want, man. Like, you see all these guys that are going in and fighting overmatched opponents, and, like, they're scared to take on certain guys. Like, you never know. Like, Fury beat Klitschko. Bellew beat Haye. Like, people like Billy Joe Saunders, step up to the plate, fight Golovkin. You never know. If you're good enough, you'll win. What's wrong with these people, man? Just step up to the plate and fight. Trust me, man. You never know. You never know, man. Boxing's a fun
He's a
game.
world champion. He's a world champion.
Kimo, and what about one of your favourite days of the year when Danny Garcia finally took a L?
So I had myself a little anniversary last weekend because it was the 1 month anniversary of Danny Garcia's first loss, and it was beautiful. I had a little wine at home. It was nice. It was a great moment. I'm so fucking happy he lost.
Did you rewatch the fight in order to relive those exhilarations?
No, I don't even need to because the fight's not that good. But he fucking lost. That's all that matters, you know. I honestly wanted a more devastating loss because I thought, again, Thurman, he kind of pushed out a little bit. It started really good. I mean, the first 3 rounds were, I thought, fantastic. But then it kind of just turned into a dull fight. Garcia wasn't really going for it. Thurman was just content with outboxing him. I don't see how certain people thought it was close. It wasn't close at all. I thought Thurman was in, like 3rd gear, and he wasn't really willing to, or actually he didn't have to go into another gear. Let me put it that way. He was content with, just outboxing him. He tried to take him out in the first few rounds. Didn't happen, obviously, because Garcia does have a spectacular chin. I got to give him that. But after that, he realized, okay, I'm not going to get rid of this guy. Let's just outbox him for the rest of the rounds. And that was that.
Didn't you have it 12-0?
I did.
Was that a bit of trolling, or did you actually have it 12-0?
Of course, that's trolling, man. But I honestly did not. I honestly did not have a lot of rounds for Garcia, as far as I can remember. I mean, I thought this was maybe he had like 3-4 rounds, 4 max, dude. This was not close. He wasn't doing anything relevant in the fight. What was he doing that was really that relevant?
Plodding.
I mean, Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even being aggressive that much. It was just, and then the whole bullshit.
He's
afterwards,
bending his
like,
knees.
We need a fucking rematch. Shut the fuck up and leave boxing. Seriously, these two guys have no relevance since the Matisse fight. Get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Go back to your barber shop or your shitty fucking, car mechanic shop.
It's funny. The Matisse fight was so long ago too.
It's so long ago, man. Like, stop living off the past. It's really just pathetic. He has no fucking relevance.
But he beat Matisse, though.
Yeah, exactly.
They said that he was scared of him, though.
He was the machine. He's not a man. Yeah. So, yeah, what did you think, Kamada? What did you think?
Champion of the world at 140.
Nice. 140 resume is good, but at 147 he has done shit.
That was a great win.
That.
Yeah, that was a great win that he didn't capitalize on. That was the whole thing with
but it was great seeing Danny Garcia take his first official L, because we've seen him take 2 L's before this. And I'm not sure if you lot have seen the picture going around, like PBC put up his record and they had his record at 33-7-2.
That was good.
Even they know he's been taking L's.
They also had Virgil Hunter, trainer of Golovkin, right? Classic.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's how you know that money's running out, man. That money's running out.
Who are they employing at these companies, man? Like,
them cutbacks.
People that don't know shit about boxing.
Straight casuals, man.
But yeah, man, there
probably is some other Danny Garcia that has that record. Like, oh, this is the same guy.
This'll do.
But yeah, man, it was good though seeing Danny Garcia finally take an L. Angel Garcia being humbled, but I don't know. He was talking bullshit after the fight, acting like Danny got robbed. Danny didn't get robbed, man. Danny lost. He lost, and yeah, man.
Yeah, but Hamad Keith was running though.
Hey yo, I just clocked, like, don't you think like Swift is like the wrong nickname for Danny Garcia, like, because he's anything but Swift. Like, he should be Danny Stiff Garcia.
Danny bend your knees Garcia.
No, it's true though. Swift, I mean, fucking hell. Need to change that name, but yeah.
Danny Whiff Garcia.
Danny Gift Garcia. I know, we got the move, but yeah, man, nice to see Thurman get that victory, and 2-time baby, not 1-time, 2-time champion.
Yeah.
And hopefully he can fight the winner of Errol Spence versus Kell Brook, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Later on in the year.
And Hamada, quickly before I wrap it up, that devastating knockout by Lemieux over Stevens.
I mean, that's because Lemieux didn't do the IBF weigh-in and he weighed like 200 pounds, and that's not a legitimate knockout, so we can't count that one.
Yeah, man, he weighed like 215 pounds, I heard. 215 pounds.
That needs to be changed to a no contest. He broke the rules. Yeah, that's my. Now I'm joking, but it was a cracking knockout, man. That they traded left hooks, and they're both hookers, and the hooker, the prettier hooker got to the face first. So yeah, whatever that means.
That sounds like it had nothing to do with boxing.
Yeah, that's something that goes on the weekend. But your thoughts on that knockout, Kimo?
Oh, it was amazing, man. I love that fight. This is exactly my type of fight, to be honest. I mean, I'm a bloodthirsty ghoul, when it comes to this shit, and I fucking love these type of 3-round wars, man. That's exactly my type of shit, and it ends with a good knockout as well. I think Lemieux is I wouldn't say criminally underrated, but he is quite underrated by everybody in the boxing scene, man. I think this guy's real good. I think he's had some fucked up losses. I'm not going to disagree with that, but if you look at his overall technique, the way he fights, he gets outboxed by the elite guys. But if you're not elite, like a Golovkin, you're gonna struggle with this dude, man. I mean, there's not many people in the division that can beat him easily, and
it's hard honestly, to deal with just that level of pressure, and he's coming at you, and you better be ready.
And he's a sharp puncher, man. I honestly wouldn't even like. I've heard some people say like, "Oh, Jacobs would school him easily." I don't think that's a given. I really don't think that is. I'm not saying I would pick Lemieux. I really have to think about it, but I don't think it's an easy fight. I don't think it's an easy fight for anybody. Golovkin really had a really, really good performance against him, like properly, controlled him with the jab, and offsetting that forward momentum that Lemieux, is his best at. But if you cannot push this guy backwards, he's a problem. And the hook he landed on Stevens was very short, very sharp, and you could see it, man. As soon as it connected, lights out. He was fucking done.
Mate.
Vicious. Vicious, and it doesn't even look like he really he didn't wind up the punch that much. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like he's forcing the punch. It really is a short little hook on the inside. Really, really great technique on that as well.
But Kimo,
what's up?
Jacobs beat Triple G, and Triple G beat Lemieux. So surely Jacobs beats Lemieux.
Well, I know you're trolling a bit, but on a serious note, I might even pick.
But that's how some people actually look at it. But the triangle theories never work. I mean, look, Vernon Forrest beat Mosley. Mosley beat Mayoba.
I wouldn't say they never work.
Like,
I wouldn't say
triangle
they never
theory
work out.
just doesn't work in boxing. Like Lemieux,
it works by chance sometimes.
Lemieux might actually be able to beat Jacobs. Who knows in a fight if he clips him the same way Mayoga beat Vernon Forrest? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a given.
Anybody in that division that gets tagged by one of Lemieux's hooks is in trouble. I don't care who you are. I don't think there's anybody that walks through his punches. Even Golovkin didn't do that. That's why he controlled him with the jab. So it's he's not an easy fight for anybody, man. Good, but a great little scrap, man. Really enjoyed that one. Anything else, Cam?
Only if you want to talk about the Choco Rungvisai fight, but we kind of touched upon that earlier when we were talking about the rematch.
Nares.
Yeah, Corolla Nares. 2.
Schooling. Absolute schooling. There's rumours, honestly, there's some people putting out rumours that apparently when Corolla comes back from holiday, he's looking for a new trainer.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think Corolla is just fundamentally fucked up.
He is what he is. I think it's too late for him to change now. He's had that style for so long. He's not going to do anything different.
How much of a way?
Oh shit, man, guys! Some breaking news, man. Sosa missed weight.
What?
Lomachenko weighs 129.6. Jason Sosa misses weight in what could be his last fight at super featherweight. Vasyl Lomachenko met the 130-pound limit on Friday afternoon. The Ukrainian southpaw made weight at 129.6 for his 12-round title defense on Saturday night against Jason Sosa in Ox Hill, Maryland. Sosa weighed in at 130.4 on his first try. The former WBA super featherweight champion stripped naked but still weighed 130.2 on his second try on Friday. He was given the standard 2 hours to lose the 2 ounces. If Sosa cannot make the one, so I think it's within that time now where he's going to try and strip off the extra weight within 2 hours.
2 ounces, man.
Pretty crazy, man.
Unless he's like severely dehydrated, but 2 ounces you should be able to make that.
Yeah, you should be able to take that off.
Cam, there's this new trick that fighters employ nowadays. They call it the Daniel Cormier. It's a really good way for fighters to lose an additional couple pounds. You just strip naked, get the towels over your body, and then you just kind of press down on the towel. That's a good way to lose weight. So he might try that. So they just allowed it for a fight that's taking place in Buffalo, New York, and they might employ that for this weekend as well.
Techniques, ill.
Mm-hmm. Yo, did you see that video one time where they were doing that, and then he accidentally knocked the towel down? Have you not seen that?
I didn't see that.
I don't want to see it too.
Yeah, Hamad is the same guy that posted that picture, right, of the
yeah.
naked
Well,
fighter.
who was that? Fuck.
Sorry, but someone sent that to me,
was
so
it
obviously
BJ
I had to send it back
was
to
it
someone
BJ
else and
Flores,
made
was
them
it?
pay.
Yeah, BJ Flores. Yeah.
And Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, Jesus. You were the one
Did it-
that fucking sent that shit?
Wait, but the Roy Jones one, he sent that to Kathy Duver, right?
Yeah, he was getting a bit frisky with Kathy in the interview, I saw.
He proper kissed her and that.
He turned into
That was
Mac mode,
great.
didn't he? He
Yeah.
started like hitting her with the lines.
Hey, yo, listen, wait.
I've watched
Before I
that
get
video
sidetracked, and I
several
forget
times.
about this. Can I just mention this? Like, how much of a cunt is Joe Gallagher? I mean, he let that Morrison kid, take a shellacking. And then he wants to pull Crawler out in the 11th round.
And it's 12.
That's how you know it's all about him. It's the Joe show. It's all about him. He wanted to have the final say and steal the spotlight. Yeah, Joe Gallagher pulled him out. Well done to Crawler. Crawler said to him, no, don't pull me out. I want to continue. Don't. Final round. Let me fight the final. What a cunt. I mean, I just can't stand Joe Gallagher, man.
He's the trainer of the year, man. Show
Well,
some respect.
He's a fucking dog shagger, man.
No, it's true,
I don't
man,
know,
'cause-
fuck him.
At the same time, Marcus Morrison was getting beat from pillar to post for 10 rounds.
It's all about him. He wants to make it all about himself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's a fucking cunt, man. He's a cunt.
Hamada, you know what pissed me off? When he was saying that Beefy was unlucky versus Canelo. I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, it's just unlucky. And what do you mean unlucky? With what? I mean, what the fuck happened? They were talking all this bullshit about, the training camp was unlucky. But don't get me wrong, I was in shape. I'm like, okay, I still don't know what the fuck that means, but you're obviously in denial that you got fucking schooled by Canelo.
Canelo beat the shit
Well,
out.
who doesn't get schooled by Canelo?
Mayweather.
No, that was Canelo was dehydrated in that fight.
Austin Trout.
Austin Trout.
He got schooled by Austin Trout.
No doubt Trout.
Lara.
There's
Are you
Sandy
kidding
Lara.
He beat Lara by body punches. Keep going.
You're saying that who doesn't he school? He didn't school any of those guys.
He schooled all of them, man. Have you guys seen Canelo in training lately?
Yeah, he looks like a beast.
But I've seen that Chavez Jr.
See those?
is
See those?
is
I actually
What?
want to talk about that for a real
he's
quick second.
planning to be 169 pounds for fight week.
Do you guys know how bummy Chavez trains? Like, if you look at his Instagram, he's at a different boxing gym every day.
He's in the Romanza gym every day, man.
Oh,
What are you talking
No,
about?
no, no. You look at his picture. Maybe recently he's been training at the Romanza gym consistently, but in his past, he's always at a different gym, and he always wears like those really weird construction gloves when he's running. Like, he'll wear like two different pair of gloves while he's going for a run, and some like crazy jacket. He just reminds me of the type of guy who just works out like an idiot, has no plan, or there's no rhyme or reason behind anything that he does. I don't think it matters. I think him losing weight doesn't mean shit.
He's in the sauna already. Like,
I'm
I mean, the fight's in what? A month and a half, 6 weeks, and he's already in the sauna? Like, fucking hell, man.
Like, it's kind of like that Triple G situation. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking way too much into this, but like Triple G, obviously we all commend him for being so close to weight. I thought he looked kind of a little bit dehydrated when he weighed in for his last fight against Jacobs. I'm not saying that the same applies to Triple G, or to Chavez, but I think you can be in good shape like Chavez I think is right now, and then the last 4 or 5 pounds, whatever it is, are going to be absolute fucking hell for him. So,
well, I'm sure that's what Canelo's team were counting on, and why they made the weight the way they made it.
hey,
I'm
come
not-
on, dude.
I'm not a nutritionist though, right? But do you think he's
You're not?
trying? No, I'm not. But do you think he's just trying to get down to a weight as much as possible, and then just stay there so that his body kind of acclimatizes to it? Like, he's just trying to do it as quickly as
That's deadly.
possible.
Can't do that.
I don't know. I didn't even know
No,
if that's
so-
a theory
so-
or
no,
whatever.
so-
'Cause I'm not.
No, so
I don't even know if that makes sense.
that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it, to try and taper down ahead of time, and then make it so that the last few pounds will come off at the last minute, as opposed to trying to shed a fuck ton of weight all at the last minute. Honestly, I prefer the former way more than the latter way, but I think most guys tend to prefer the latter way than the former way. Even Alex Ariza was talking about the fact that he doesn't think that Chavez Jr. should be as close to the weight as he is this far out from the fight. But he said that his way isn't the only way, that Heredia has a different style of doing things, and I think that he probably knows what he's doing. I mean, he has a track record for it. So,
dude, I don't know about that.
But it remains to be seen, though. Because we won't know until he actually shows up on the night of the fight whether he managed to cut the weight properly and then regain it properly. We're not going to know because that Pacquiao outweighed fucking De La Hoya when they fought. So there's an entire possibility that Chavez Jr. may be so fucking drained that he's not even able to get the weight back onto himself. And Alvarez will wind up being the bigger man, quote unquote, in the ring. So, I mean, it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen.
What are you going to say, Kimo?
I was going to ask you, Lim, isn't it slightly worrying you that he's with that camp with Memo and Nacho? I mean, I don't know, man. That has me a bit
Definitely
worried.
Not Nacho. No, absolutely not. You can't learn things properly with one training camp. You just can't.
I'm not talking about learning. I'm talking about conditioning. This
isn't the first time he's been with Nacho. This is the second time.
But that even kind of
I'm purely talking in terms of conditioning.
No, it doesn't. I don't think he's a very good fighter. If you can't fucking knock out Brian Vera, that's it. That's my argument right there. Brian Vera. If he had a rematch, Brian fucking Vera. That's it. I'm done. I dropped my mic. I'm gone.
He arguably lost that first fight.
Canelo's gonna style on his ass, man. And he's gonna make a good $20 million off of it. So I'm happy for my boy, and let's bring on Golovkin in September.
Now, I disagree, Kimo, man. If he doesn't have Memo Heredia, he ain't making that weight. He needs Memo Heredia. Heredia's got all the juices, all the medicines. He's got everything to get his weight down to that weight.
Concoctions.
See, my problem with this is I've seen Memo break my fucking heart with this shit before with Marquez. You know what I mean? Turning Marquez into a fucking demon, after a few months. And yeah, you can laugh, but it's fucking true, man. Like I was a massive
just the way you put it.
And then he came out. He looked like a fucking like a monster, dude. I mean,
it's guru science, man. Guru science.
I know it's guru science, but that's what I'm worried because that's what I want. I want Chavez to be in the best shape of his life because I want this to be a true fight. I don't want it to be a showcase. And that's what I'm thinking now, man. Like, is it possible? It's very possible that this is a repeat of that where he puts the guy in the best shape of his life. Is that going to save him skill-wise? No. But if he blows up on fight night and he can walk through Canelo's punches, I don't know, man. Canelo has only fought guys that are much lighter than this. I don't know how this is going to play out. And I know Chavez is not an elite guy.
This is the exact same thing you said for the Angulo fight. It's actually it's scary, kind of how tit for tat it is, at what you're saying.
No, I think Chavez is better than Angulo.
But Angulo is nowhere near as big as Chavez. That's my point.
And
look at the weight that they're fighting at. Look at the weight that they're fighting at, Lim. This is a different story.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, we're not even sure how Canelo's going to come in either. Is he going to come in just kind of close to his rehydration weight, or is he putting on a little bit of muscle, or just not cutting as much muscle as he was before? Just the fact that he's not used to fighting somebody as big as Chavez, and the fact that him being heavier than he normally is, 10 pounds heavier than he normally is, at the weigh-in compared to whatever he winds up weighing in the fight, that actually might slow Canelo down. That actually might work against him. And so he actually might wind up almost slowing himself down, at least foot speed-wise, to where Chavez is. And if he does that and he's not able to get away from Chavez and Chavez just eats his best Sunday punch and keeps coming right after his ass like fucking Cesar Kid did to Chocolatito, for instance, or like Golovkin did to Burke, then Canelo could potentially be in serious trouble. I
am worried about that too, man. And call me a hype man or whatever, but Chavez has a chance now to get in the ring with the poster boy of Mexican boxing. You know, and God damn it, man. I'll be damned if it doesn't fucking motivate him a little bit. You know, I know he's one of the laziest guys in boxing, but he seems to look like he has got a fire up his ass. And if that's the case, man, and with a little chemical help, you know what I mean, and he blows up on fucking fight night, and Canelo is suddenly facing a cruiserweight in there, I don't know what's going to happen. There's a big fucking difference in weight between him and Angulo, man. It's a massive fucking difference.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one fight that he would be dedicated for, it would be to beat Canelo. Because it's like if he beats him, it's almost like everything that he did in the past is washed away. All that bullshit goes away.
Because Canelo's a good puncher, but he's not a great puncher. And again, if he's facing a cruiserweight there on fight night who's in semi decent shape after a brutal weight cut, how is that going to work? Do you think he's going to be able to hurt Chavez really badly? I'm not too sure about that, man. I mean, it's all speculation at this point. We can't really say anything until he gets on the scales. But I think with the camp that he's working with, I don't know. There's a little thing in the back of my mind that's telling me this is not going to be, like a clear-cut victory unless he looks, absolutely like fucking trash. And we even have to see if he even makes the weight in the first place, because it is a fucking brutal catch weight. Let's make no mistake about it. So, I don't know. I'm pretty pumped. You're going to it live, right, Lim?
Yes.
Gonna be a good scrap. Anything else you guys want to talk about, boys? I think we should wrap it up soon.
I'm good.
You good, Cam?
I'll give a quick shout to the fight that's taking place tomorrow. Jose Argumedo, the IBF strawweight champion, minimum weight champion, defending his belt against Gabriel Mendoza. I'm not sure if RingTV.com or if Golden Boy Boxing is going to have this one on the YouTube channel, because they had Argumedo's last fight on there, because Argumedo is actually managed by the Reynosos, by Canelo's people. So I'm not sure if they're going to be streaming this fight again, and there is an outside possibility that we may get to see Argumedo on one of these Canelo undercards at some point in the future, which would be really cool. But I favor him to beat Mendoza, though. This is basically I'm pretty sure this is an optional defense for him against Mendoza, a fighter from Colombia. A lot of knockouts and a fair number of wins. But Argumedo, to me, is probably the best fighter at 105 pounds. Even better than Wenheng Manayote and knockout CP Freshmore. But he doesn't necessarily have the wins over those two guys to completely be clearly ahead of them in terms of the rankings list. But he has a win over Katsunari Takayama, which I think means a lot, because Takayama is a multi-time unified champion. So I just wanted to toss that one out there, and I'll definitely link you guys up once the fight happens.
Anyone else?
Yo, Cam needs to come in and say kill.
Cool. All right.
It's that time.
Let's call it a night, boys. Kimo, wonderful having you.
Oh, it looks
on
like
the show.
Sosa made the weight, by the way.
It was 2 pounds. You probably just ran it off. Sorry, 2 ounces. Yeah.
I was gonna say 2 pounds, man.
I was gonna say that's a lot. That's Liam Smith missing weight. Kimo, wonderful having you on the show.
Yeah, man, it's been good. Nice long show again. Lots of good stuff to talk about, and we've got some good fights coming up, man. I'm pumped to see Gvozdyk. I really dig it, and hopefully we get to see a few good knockouts, man.
Yep, and also thanks to Dan, Naota, Hamada, and it's good to have Welsh Joe on the show again. Thanks to all the people in the chat and all the people that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back on Monday. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
I did. Man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition.
You're a newbie.
No, I ain't new, man.
If my fucking next door neighbour became the #1 flyweight in the world, you know what I'd do? I'd fucking walk past the cunt.
Derek, how you doing, bro?
I was physically burn you, blood.
I disagree.
First time I hear the show, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos a Argentina, la concha de su madre.
I see the bomb in them.
I get home and she's like, what the fuck? Me and the kid are here. Why don't you get home and talk to us? I'm like, man, you guys don't know shit about boxing.
Kel, how does it feel to be the new IBF champion?
Feels great.
great. Do we really dive into the black hole right off the jump?
I think he's hiding glass. Just to play devil's advocate.
You want 1 portion of crow or 2 portions of crow?
Give me 2 portions with a supersized fries and a large drink, please.
I can't stand him, what? I'm Scottish.
Cringe side. But you won't brush Anthony fucking fat ass Joshua, would you?
He's not fat.
How about you tell us what you weigh for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.